Gentlemen, welcome back to OTS News. My name is Mean Marky T. Pile driving geeks. Since 1973, the biggest mark in the IWC. JD? What are you doing inside the news studio?
I pay you the big bucks to hype people up right before the podcast, and then nobody hears you right before the podcast on the biggest show of the year? What the hell is going on around here?
Listen, JD, I don't know what happened last night. I get into the news studio. You know that new blonde that we just hired that sits at the desk, man? She was looking at me. She had those eyes, man. I couldn't take my eyes away. She's wearing this short dress. Anyway, I sit down at my desk and all of a sudden I see that I have a plate of food from Titus's kitchen from last night sitting at my desk. And things were moved around. I would know. I have OCD, bro. I know where I put things and I know if things are moved, okay? Next thing you know, it comes time for showtime. There's no music. There's no voice. People can't hear me. People were disappointed, man. If I can't come on the air and get people hyped, what good is this place?
What do you mean things were unplugged? Who else has the key to this news office? I gave you that, and to you only, with specific instructions to not give it to anybody else. There is top secret information in this place that I trust only you with.
Oh my God, man, I just realized what might have happened. Oh, I gave Shayna the key to the office the other day because she forgot her umbrella. You know, because it's always raining outside the venue. I mean, what is it with this fucking place, man? You built a bar in the one place where sunshine doesn't exist? Anyway, she needed an umbrella, and I told her to go get mine. And she must have forgotten to lock the door on the way out. She did give me the key back, though. God, what a dumb fucking bitch, man. I mean, why is she even here? Did you see her at WrestleMania last night? Tits pumping out everywhere. She can't wrestle. Now she can't dress properly. I'm telling you, man, you gotta get rid of her, bro. You gotta get rid of her. Fucking up food orders inside the venue. Titus is always calling the new studio complaining about her. She's constantly late with my scripts here. I mean, she's not even hot. She's the wrong type of blonde. Listen, you gotta go out and get a blonde who's hot and get a blonde who's smart. Dana clearly doesn't grasp the smart part.
Listen, man, I'm tired of the excuses. You sound like everybody in the IWC. Nothing but excuses, okay? You better hope they can tell telling me the truth on this. Otherwise, I'm gonna dump you. And then I'm gonna go and get your brother, Malicious Marky D. I heard he's even got a deeper voice than you. But you know what? I'm gonna talk to Dana. I have a sneaking suspicion that you are telling me the truth. And I do believe what you're telling me actually happened. I know she's a dumb bitch, okay? So I'm gonna talk to her. You do what you gotta do. Get people hyped up for the fucking show. And don't let it happen again. You hear me?
Yeah, yes, Mr. JD, I'm sorry. I will make sure that this never happens again. You go and do what you gotta do. I'm sure you got a lot of work ahead of you tonight. Go grab yourself a cold beverage at the bar. I will make sure everybody's hyped up for the biggest show of the year. You go do you, man. I'm gonna make sure everything is right on my end now that we got this situation cleared out. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back with OTS News after this small musical commercial break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to OTS News, and what you just heard were the sweet sounds of Carl Casey. That one was called The Watcher. Let me tell you something, guys. If you're complaining about missed the intro to the podcast, but you are okay with a 45-minute rain delay at WrestleMania, you can kindly kiss my ass. Tonight for night 2 of WrestleMania, Roman Reigns defends the WWE Universal Championship against the rated R superstar Edge. You know who else is rated R? I am. Mean Marky D is rated R, especially with that new blonde secretary that's sitting at the front desk, man. I don't know if I told you guys, but I did get her number. What's her name? Who gives a shit? All I know is she's got a nice ass. And Daniel Bryan, who Edge called a book troll clerk vanilla midget. Was it Roman Reigns remaining the tribal chief? Did the rated R superstar finally achieve his dream after 10 years? Or did the bookstore clerk vanilla midget finally go on to get one last grasp of glory at WrestleMania? Also, Big E defends the Intercontinental Championship against Apollo Crews in a Nigerian drum fight. What is it? I don't know, and I doubt Bruce Pritchard knows either. And in one of the matches that I'm looking forward to most, Kevin Owens will go on to wrestle Sami Zayn, and in his corner, Jake Paul, bottom of the barrel YouTuber who loves Pokemon, who thinks he's a boxer, Jake Paul. Ladies and gentlemen, I do have the secret to beat Jake Paul in a boxing match. All you gotta do is open up a pack of Pokemon cards. That'll get his attention. You sneak in a right hook. Goodbye. Lights out. There you go. Don't tell anybody I never did anything for my loving audience. Tonight, Titus Catering is offering the best in-bar food specials, folks. He's got all your big game snacks, mozzarella sticks, homemade guacamole with nachos, potato skins, pigs in a blanket, you name it, man. And on the side, a homemade dish of his freshly cut French fries with some barbecue sauce, ketchup. You want some chipotle mayo. No matter what it is and what type of dressing you want for your French fries, folks, Titus has got it. And the bar special today, we are paying homage to somebody who is not booked for WrestleMania, Bruce. The fuck is wrong with you, Bruce? How don't you book Bailey for WrestleMania? Anyway, we're paying homage to Bailey tonight. We have the Ding Dong Daiquiri. I don't know how many of you guys out there love a daiquiri, but ding dong, hello! This one is fucking delicious. Ladies and gentlemen, the show is about to begin. This is your WrestleMania 37 Night 2 review on the #1 podcast in the entire IWC. This is Off the Script with your host, JD from New York. This message is brought to you by Dana Brooks' tag team partner, Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose, it's slippery when wet.
Your tribal chief! We are live, man!
I'd love to be the person that tells you, I told you so. And I'm gonna do it anyway. But I told you so. Roman Reigns. And still your Universal Champion. And when you talk about night 2, Roman, Edge, and Daniel Bryan triple threat for the Universal Championship, it legitimately was the only thing on this night, on this show, night 2, that was WrestleMania worthy. We're going to go over everything tonight, guys. We're going to break down night 2, championships changed hands, and Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is even more dead than he was when he was buried in Saudi Arabia. We are going to talk about WrestleMania as WrestleMania 37 is in the books. This is your WrestleMania 37 post show on the best fucking podcast and #1 live stream in the IWC right now. This is Off the Script. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your WrestleMania 37 Night 2 post show on Off the Script. It is April 11th, 2021. I am your host, JD from New York, man. The OTS venue is live, and it's going crazy, man. Thank you so very much for stopping by the podcast tonight, man. We're going to break everything down the best that we can, just like we did night 1, man. But I know I'm not the only one that felt this way tonight. First of all, I want to get it out there. I am absolutely in favor of a 2-night WrestleMania. I absolutely am in favor of a 2-night WrestleMania. I want you guys to just picture this show if it was one night. Everything on this show tonight, outside of the main event, the true main event of WrestleMania, which was Edge, Roman Reigns, and Daniel Bryan for the Universal Championship, everything at this show tonight was not WrestleMania worthy up until we got to the very last match of the evening. Everything about that main event was WrestleMania worthy. It embodied everything that was a WrestleMania main event. Everything. You had the venue, you had the stage, you had WrestleMania, you had live fans in attendance. Legitimately, everybody was on their feet for the majority of that match. That means when you're watching at home, that everybody is invested in what's going on. That's the result of having 3 guys like Edge, Roman Reigns, and Daniel Bryan, and the level of just how they are as a performer. Characters. People aren't standing for people that they don't care about. So the stage was set with that. This was probably the only thing on this show tonight, the only thing on this show tonight, outside of Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton, which is absolutely fucking ridiculous, the only thing on this show that had any story at all going into it. I hope WWE is listening. I hope WWE is watching. I hope they are observing what they did. I hope they are observing the fans in attendance and how they reacted and the passion that the fans gave to the performance in that ring tonight. Edge, Bryan, and Roman was legitimately the only story all WrestleMania season that had any interest from any fan at all. Everything on WrestleMania, both night 1 and night 2, barely, and I mean barely, had any story. WWE needs to start taking into consideration the level of story that goes into these matches. No story, nobody cares. Story, you get something like you got tonight. When there's a story, the match that you got in the main event tonight, that's the result. The energy, that's the result. When you don't have a story, you get Asuka and Rhea Ripley. And nobody giving a shit. Nobody was standing on their feet for Asuka and Rhea Ripley. Why? Because nobody gives a shit about Asuka or Rhea Ripley. Roman Reigns. I said it once, I said it twice, I said it 3 times. I said it since he really started this heel run. Roman Reigns is not losing that championship anytime soon. He's not losing that championship anytime soon, and nor should he. I advocated more than anybody for Bryan and Reigns in the main event. I didn't even book Edge in the main event before he won the Royal Rumble. I was putting him against Drew McIntyre. I was booking him against Drew McIntyre, giving him his Mania moment against Drew, not against Roman. Nobody is worth a WrestleMania moment over Roman Reigns. So we got a triple threat match. We got the best of both worlds. We got Bryan, we got Edge, we got Reigns. I said it from day one. The way Roman Reigns has developed his character, absolutely nobody on this roster is even close to taking him down. And I'm so happy that whoever made the decision to stick with Roman Reigns as Universal Champion made that decision, and it brings a goddamn smile to my face that everybody that was in favor of Edge winning the Universal Championship is now sorely disappointed. Because this is what's best for business. Roman Reigns as the Universal Champion is what's best for business. Fuck your nostalgia. Fuck your 50-year-old legend coming back trying to get the glory over the young guys. It's not why we're here. It's not WrestleMania. WrestleMania is about putting over the future, right? Bianca went over. Rhea went over, even though she shouldn't have. Roman went over. There's no difference between Roman and Bianca. There's no difference between Roman and Rhea Ripley. Roman is the guy. Roman sits atop the throne. If you were one of these geeks that wanted Roman to lose the championship and get pinned at WrestleMania to a 50-year-old Edge or a Daniel Bryan for that matter, I'm the biggest Bryan mark that there is. You didn't see me going out there saying, yeah, I want him to win the title. I want him to pin Roman. It's counterproductive. It brings me great pleasure to know that everybody that advocated for this Edge match, wanting him to win, is now looking at the true Universal Champion. I said it on Friday when I did the SmackDown podcast and the WrestleMania predictions. Roman holds that title until he meets Dwayne Johnson face-to-face at WrestleMania, whenever that may be. There's nobody on this roster taking down Roman. Nobody. Brock Lesnar is a possibility. I just get a feeling, a sneaking suspicion that Brock Lesnar is set to come back. That's the only guy that's going to bring any sense of legitimacy to taking down Roman Reigns. And even then, I'm not having Brock beat Roman. Now that Edge and the Nostalgia Act is done, who are you guys going to hang on to as far as beating Roman Reigns? Big E? Big E's now your guy? Negative. Big E is not the guy. Not yet, anyway. He won't be ready for at least another 2 years, Big E. Roman Reigns is not dropping that title. And for everybody thinking, oh, well, Edge is going to get a rematch. What rematch? What rematch, folks? Edge was in a triple threat match, willingly knowing the rules of a triple threat match. There's nothing he can do about it. Everything in that match was as legal as a fucking wrist lock. Chairs, legal. Pulling referees out of the ring, breaking up pinfalls, legal. Edge used illegal weapons. Edge tried to do whatever he had to do to win that match. So where exactly is the rematch coming in? There's no rematches. There's no, oh, I got fucked over. Oh, this guy got pinned. This guy got pinned. You didn't pin me. Roman Reigns pinned both guys at the same time. Your rematches don't exist. They don't. Which brings an even bigger smile to my face. It's over. It's over. Roman has nobody left. So what happens now? I don't know. I really don't know. But when I say something and I really harp on it week after week after week, and I'm very adamant about what I'm talking about, you pretty much should be in full understanding that more than likely, even though you don't want it to be, it's right. It's right. And now that I got my largest audience of the entire year right now, I'm going to tell you right here to your face, there hasn't been one podcaster in this entire community that's been right all WrestleMania season more than me right here. I told you this was going to happen, and this is exactly what happened. That's it. That was fantastic in the main event. Outside of that, I have a lot of issues with this show tonight. I have a lot of issues with this show tonight. This show, night one, was better than night two. And it's amazing to me that night one on both TakeOver and WrestleMania was better than night two. I don't know why that is. I certainly looked at the card and I said, you know what? Night two's got the much better card. Night two's got the much better card up and down. Night one seemed to be a little weak, and it ended up being a stronger card. I do think that that was carried mostly by Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks and the main event that they had. I really do think that was a WrestleMania moment that honestly carried the vibe of that entire show up until it actually happened. So night two was pretty much a letdown. It felt rushed. It really felt like nothing was important because the matches were rushed. I felt like things really didn't matter. WWE seemingly came into Raymond James Stadium and wanted to really leave Raymond James Stadium. Nothing really felt WrestleMania-esque. Nothing. Up until Roman Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan. And we're going to discuss what happened and why I had a major problem with several things on this show tonight. But I want to thank you guys so very much, man. We are looking at 3,600 plus right now in the chat. Thank you for making us the number one podcast tonight, I am sure, in the IWC. Follow me on Twitter, at JDfromNY206. That's Twitter and Instagram. Get this guy out of the chat. My ego is bigger than your forehead. You can't see my forehead, you fucking geek. I got a goddamn fucking hat on. Get the fuck out of my chat. My ego is as big as anything because I have a right to have one because I'm the best at what I do. Get the fuck out of my chat. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Follow me on social media, at JDfromNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. If you guys want to subscribe, we will be here live tomorrow night for Monday Night Raw and then the debut on Tuesday night for NXT. My work is not done yet for this WrestleMania week as it continues on into the Raw after WrestleMania. Make sure you guys go and check out Night One's podcast live on the channel. Link is in the description below. Go check that out. And everything else that you might have missed on the channel, Monday Night Raw, AEW Dynamite, both nights of NXT TakeOver. You guys know it. I've been here all week. My voice is about to go any minute. And I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight, as always. Patreon.com/ patreon.com/JDfromNY206. That is patreon.com/JDfromNY206. Make sure you guys go and get your t-shirts. Bonfire.com is the exclusive home of JD from New York and Off the Script. Go get your masks, mouthmasker.com/OTS. And today's podcast is once again brought to you by Dr. Squatch. DrSquatch.com. Use code SCRIPTS at checkout. You're going to save yourself 20% off. Shampoo, they got it. Conditioner, they got it. Soaps, deodorants, toothpaste, they got it. You guys want the best in men's hygiene? They got it. I want you guys to use the best, smell your best, and you are already listening to the best, so it goes hand in hand. DrSquatch.com. You guys are going to use code SCRIPTS at checkout. Let's start off at the top, man. Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt. This was the opening of WrestleMania 37 for night number 2. And I was very surprised to see this open the show. I figured that this would be in the middle of the show. This is where my criticisms come in immediately. They come in immediately here. I don't know why this match opened the show. This has been one of the weakest, if not, it's definitely number 1 or number 2, weakest storylines going into WrestleMania. Ones that existed. Probably the weakest storyline going into WrestleMania. I have no idea what they're doing. None of it is compelling. None of it is captivating. None of it is interesting. Bray Wyatt is as dead as he was in Saudi Arabia. And the star of this show has been Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss is now the star of the Bray Wyatt act. And there's no refuting that. Bray Wyatt is the co-star, and Alexa Bliss is now the superstar. Number 1 in the act. Randy Orton burned Bray Wyatt at TLC. Comes back at Fastlane. He's got this new mask. He's got this burned flesh. And I'm assuming we were going to get a burned version of Bray Wyatt, just like we got a burned version of Kane when he took the fucking mask off. Nothing about it is similar. Nothing about it even resembles the other. But the thing is, with Bray Wyatt, he was the biggest act in all of WWE when he debuted. Easily. Upon arrival, when we got his entrance and he wrestled Finn Balor at SummerSlam 2 years ago, this guy was the biggest act in all of WWE. The coolest act in WWE. Vince McMahon's seen it. Bruce Pritchard's seen it. And the first thing that they thought of was, how do we kill it? This is clearly all Bray Wyatt's vision. WWE needed to get their dirty hands on it, and slowly but surely, the character has faded into obscurity. Everything about it that was cool was now uncool. Everything about it that was great is not great anymore. And it fell victim to WWE's terrible booking. You want to know how WWE really looked at the Bray Wyatt Fiend character? They brought in a 53-year-old Goldberg to bury this guy in Saudi Arabia in 3 minutes and win the Universal Championship, and then go on to WrestleMania and do nothing with the championship. It wasn't even recognized as a real legitimate thing going into WrestleMania. It was looked at as a comedy act. Bray Wyatt was buried. Bray Wyatt ended up wrestling John Cena, or I should say, it was a match, quote unquote, but not really a match, Firefly Funhouse match. And Bray Wyatt really never recovered after that. A 4-month-long feud with Braun Strowman. He won the championship after 4 long months. They brought back the Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt, to really extend this feud when it didn't really need to be extended. He won the championship ultimately for 1 week to drop it to Roman Reigns, and he never sniffed a championship again. Never. Randy Orton was his next target. It's been drawn out. It's been dragged out. He got burned. He comes back at TLC, or Fastlane rather, after being burned at TLC. And he was burned, flesh dripping off of his mask. He's got burn marks all over his arms. And this is the first time that he's been wrestling since that incident. Orton came out first, and he looked great in white trunks. He got a big explosion with the fireworks for the entrance. Randy Orton is a legit megastar. It comes off as such when you watch this guy. So Alexa Bliss shows up in the ramp, or on the ramp, through the tunnel. Firefly Funhouse music is playing, and she dances to the ring. And when she gets to ringside, she's standing in front of a giant jack-in-the-box. It looks very Saw movie-like. It looks like something out of the movie Saw. So Alexa Bliss is standing there. Randy Orton's in the ring, wondering what's going on. So she spins the jack-in-the-box over and over and over again. And then all of a sudden, the Fiend's music hits. And the Fiend pops out of the jack-in-the-box. Satanic imagery all over the top of the jack-in-the-box. And he's no longer burned. Bray Wyatt is no longer the burned Bray Wyatt. So you mean to tell me that all that it took was Alexa Bliss to, I guess, wish upon a star or hold some satanic ritual? That's all it took for Alexa Bliss to bring back the regular Bray Wyatt in this new form. He's now automatically transformed back into his old form with no burn marks whatsoever. I'm having a very difficult situation trying to grasp what I was watching here. I thought we were going to wrestle with the burned Bray Wyatt. I thought we were going to get the burned Bray Wyatt character, but that is not the case. So he's no longer burned. So they're already fucking up whatever they did at TLC. And all of the months that he was off of TV, why does it even matter anymore? How does somebody magically just show up after being doused in gasoline and burned alive? How does one show up with no visible traces of burn marks or seared flesh? Oh, but JD, it's a mythical storyline. Fuck your magic, fuck your mythical creatures, and fuck your bullshit fairy tale storylines in pro wrestling. We're not 6 years old anymore. This is not compelling, it's not interesting, and it's one big comedy show. So then he's standing on top of the jack-in-the-box, and he jumps off the jack-in-the-box, and we have a match that's beginning. And the red light is back. Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt wrestled in red lighting. After all that WWE did for Bray Wyatt to get rid of it, they bring it back and have him wrestle in red lighting. It looks terrible. It looks stupid. It blinds the viewer. I don't really understand it. Why does WWE do these stupid, nonsensical things? Who asked for that? Bray Wyatt himself said he doesn't even like the red light. So why is the red light back? It does nothing to enhance the act. My next question is, this match went 5 minutes. My next question is really gonna go over everybody's head. I don't know how anybody out there, these Fiend geeks, these Bray Wyatt super fans that fucking live and die by this guy. They got murals in their fucking bedroom and they pray to the god Bray Wyatt, the Fiend. They hold their own satanic rituals in their fucking bedrooms like geeks, right? So you mean to tell me that WWE burned Bray Wyatt to a fucking crisp? They burned this guy to a crisp to show up at WrestleMania and come back as a new transformed version of the original Fiend that we all saw to have a regular wrestling match against Randy Orton? You burned this guy to a fucking crisp to have a regular, standard, one-on-one match where headlocks and wrist locks are legal at WrestleMania. I don't know who's listening to me, but I know what I'm watching. I'm watching fucking garbage as far as creative is concerned. That was the most ridiculous thing that I could possibly have surmised and regurgitated back to you guys. Burn this guy to a crisp to have a one-on-one regular match at WrestleMania. Unreal. This entire feud is a fucking disaster. It's been a disaster. So, Orton gave the Fiend a back suplex on the announce table. Fiend tried to get some offense in, like I said. He charged at Orton, jumped off the jack in the box. Michael Cole called it a big box-like structure. Yes, Michael Cole, it's a fucking box. It's a jack in the box. You never seen them growing up as a kid? A big box-like structure. No shit, Sherlock. Michael Cole has had a very rough WrestleMania behind the microphone. So Orton gave the Fiend the back suplex onto the announce table. It did not affect him. He completely no-sold it. Fiend locked in the mandible claw. Orton escaped. He hit him with a draping DDT. The Fiend jumped back up. He no-sold the DDT. Orton sent the Fiend headfirst into the big box-like structure. Fiend fought back and rocked Orton with a clothesline. Followed up with a flying crossbody block. Orton recovered. He beat down the Fiend for a little bit. Orton attempted the RKO, but the Fiend countered with the mandible claw. Fiend set up for Sister Abigail, took his sweet-ass time. He gave a long kiss goodbye to the forehead of Randy Orton. And all of a sudden, flames emerged from the steel posts. Suddenly, all of a sudden, Alexa Bliss was sitting in the top of the jack in the box, and she was dressed in black. She had a crown on her head, and black ooze was dripping from her forehead all over her face, into her eyes, all onto her arms. She was almost bleeding black blood, sitting there in the top of the jack in the box. Bray Wyatt was confused. Bray Wyatt was distracted. Randy Orton turned the Fiend around, hit one RKO, and he got the 1, 2, 3 on Bray Wyatt. And that was it. That was it. I want to go over the positives here. First of all, the entrance for Bray Wyatt was great. I'm not going to take anything away from Bray Wyatt. The Jack in the Box and Alexa Bliss turning the lever of the Jack in the Box was really great. Him popping up out of it was a great visual. It was definitely a WrestleMania-worthy entrance, okay? Alexa Bliss playing the role of Sister Abigail is what I'm assuming we're seeing here. Alexa Bliss has done such a fantastic job, not only with the role she's played, but visually, her body language, her facial expressions. She's owned this gimmick since she's been involved with the Bray Wyatt character. I'd much rather her do this than her be in the ring. This is what she was born to do. This. She's actually the star of the entire act. And I get it. Alexa Bliss was using Bray Wyatt, and now Bray Wyatt seemingly, I think, is going to be turning babyface because I think. Nobody really knows for sure. Because Alexa Bliss was using him all along. That's why Randy Orton was able to defeat Bray Wyatt tonight. But man, oh man, they've dragged this on so long that I just can't bring myself to fucking care. I can't. This match was worse than what we got at WrestleMania 33 when Randy Orton beat Bray Wyatt for the WWE Championship before he dropped it to Jinder Mahal. How do you have this character in Bray Wyatt with The Fiend and produce a worse match than what you gave us at WrestleMania 33? It was mind-boggling to me how you could even go into this and produce something that was worse than one of the worst WrestleMania matches of all time. How can anybody fucking care about this? I find it very difficult to care about it. And it's just so stupid. He's not burned anymore. Are we going to get an explanation about why he's not burned anymore? I hope so. I'll reserve my judgment a little bit until we hear some explanation from Alexa Bliss. And it's just ridiculous how Randy Orton burned this guy to a fucking crisp at TLC, ultimately for him to come back and have a regular one-on-one match at WrestleMania. Seems like WWE did things backwards. I don't know, man. This shit sucked. This was a terrible, terrible way to open the show. You know, the beginning of the show is just as important as what you put on last. WWE did not get it right. They did not get it right for WrestleMania 37 on night 2. This should not have been an opening match. It did not feel like an opening match. In no way should anybody be booking this match in the open of a show. This is in the middle of the show. The open of the show should really get people excited. It should get people hyped up. It should get people pumped up and excited for what's to come for the rest of the night. You put people in a position to sit in that crowd and look at Alexa Bliss with black goo coming from her forehead, just mentally deranged shit, confusing the fuck out of everybody, leaving a bad taste in everybody's mouth, to move on to a fucking women's tag team title match that nobody gave a fuck about. That's not how I call or book WrestleMania. It's almost as if WWE wanted to get the shit out of the way, knowing that these two matches were gonna fucking shit up the entire joint, and then get on to the good shit for the rest of the night. But you guys put these two matches on first, and it actually fucked everything up after it. Nobody gave a fuck after these two matches. You gave people 1 hour of garbage and had them sit through the remainder 2.5 hours wondering what the fuck happened in the opening match. It's not what I call WrestleMania. What you needed to do was open the fucking show with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Or Matt Riddle versus Sheamus. That's what you needed to do. No, but you decide to open the fucking show up with the worst storyline going into WrestleMania. I hope to God it is over. I hope to God it is over. And where do either guys go from here? Where does Randy Orton go? Legitimately, where is Randy Orton go? What is he doing next on Raw? I doubt this is even over. I doubt Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt are moving on from each other. I guarantee you WWE is going to continue this on Raw tomorrow. And Bray Wyatt, if he's not mixed in with Randy Orton, where exactly is he going? He's a loser yet again. Yet again. All you Fiend marks out there, man, you make me sick to my stomach. This guy is a grade A loser. You should be asking yourself, why does WWE hate the Fiend so much? Oh, but it's storytelling. You know, more and more and more and more the guy loses, you're going to really believe he's a fucking loser. The crowd now has saw Bray Wyatt lose over and over and over again, on top of being burned alive. What do you think the people look at when they see Bray Wyatt? Not a guy that should be world champion. They look at a guy with a cool entrance and nothing more. The entire character is dead. WWE killed it. You should be upset with them and not me. And Bray Wyatt deserves better. This shit sucks. WWE fucked up every incarnation of Bray Wyatt, and I don't understand why they got it out for us. It certainly looks to be something like that they're out to get this guy and bury him the best that they can. You best just take the character off TV and just get rid of it completely. Nobody gives a shit anymore about Bray Wyatt. Natalya and Tamina versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. This was the women's tag team championship match. We got Natalya and Tamina winning a tag team turmoil match, which I shall not mention ever again because it was one of the worst WrestleMania embarrassments of all time. Natalya and Tamina, the way that they've been booked over the last couple weeks, pretty much gave you the impression that they were going to win the tag team championships, and that did not happen tonight. That did not happen tonight. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, I don't really, even now, they've been champions for so long, even now I don't get the pairing. I don't really understand the pairing, but WWE's Raw women's division needs massive help. And you're not really doing much of anything with Shayna Baszler looking weak in a tag team against Nia Jax. Shayna Baszler needs to go back, and she needs to be that NXT version of Shayna Baszler. The badass, I'm going to kill everybody, Shayna Baszler. Biting Becky Lynch neck, blood all over my mouth, Shayna Baszler. That's what we need to see. That's the type of woman, that's the type of competition we need to see in this division. Because when Becky comes back, when Charlotte comes back, I don't know where Becky goes. I said on yesterday's podcast that Becky probably is going to SmackDown because Rollins is over there. I could absolutely see that. She could show up on Monday Night Raw anyway. They all work out of the same building. It depends on what brand needs her more. But if Becky does go to Raw, Ronda, she's seemingly coming back. Asuka, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte. That's a good foundation for a goddamn division. Take Shayna Baszler away from this tag team. You got 6 strong women in that division that you can build around. That's what you need to start doing. I don't really get the inclusion of Shayna Baszler in this tag team with Nia Jax. In fact, I think Nia Jax is holding Shayna Baszler back and has been holding Shayna Baszler back. Natalya and Tamina mean nothing to anybody. Nobody gives a fuck about them. And nobody gives a shit about the women's tag team championships. So this match going on second after the overly bizarre and just nonsensical childish bullshit of Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton with Alexa Bliss. This took the crowd out of the show seemingly after 1 hour. Now, I will admit, the ladies worked hard in this match. Was it good? No. Was it better than the tag team turmoil match last night? I mean, anything's better than the tag team turmoil match. So they were a step ahead of the game. They were better than last night. Baszler used the side headlock on Natalya for an early advantage here. Natalya attempted the sharpshooter early, but Baszler made it to the ropes. Jax tagged in. She overpowered Natalya with her sheer size, which is immense. Jax demanded that Tamina get in the ring. Fans popped big for Tamina and broke into a Tamina chant. I really couldn't discern if it was, or decipher rather, if it was a Tamina chant that was genuine or if it was piped in. I feel like WWE was still utilizing the piped-in crowd noises for WrestleMania 37, even though there was a live fan attendance there of over 52,000 for both nights. I don't know why. Who in their right mind would be chanting Tamina at WrestleMania? Either these people are completely fucking stupid or they were completely drunk out of their minds. I don't know. Even if you are that drunk, I don't know why a Tamina chant would be breaking out at WrestleMania 37. Tamina overpowered Jax to gain control. Tamina and Natalya gave Jax a double flapjack, which was very impressive. Baszler made a blind tag, and we got Natalya and Tamina taking over. Natalya gave Baszler a catapult into a super kick from Tamina. Baszler rocked Natalya with a knee. Jax attacked Tamina at ringside and slammed her down hard on the floor. Nia Jax is a very strong woman. She picked up Tamina with ease. Baszler slowed the pace down like she usually does and worked over Natalya's knee. The fans were obviously in favor of Tamina and Natalya. They booed Nia Jax working on Natalya's leg, following up after what Shayna Baszler was doing. They isolated Natalya in their corner. Jax missed a big charge in the corner. Natalya hit a discus clothesline for a near fall on Nia Jax. Jax recovered, hit a powerbomb. Tamina broke up the pin attempt, barely. Tamina got the hot tag and ran wild on Shayna Baszler, folks. We got a Tamina hot tag at WrestleMania 37. So, Shayna attempted the Kirifuda clutch on Tamina, but Tamina broke free. Tamina climbed to the top rope, but Shayna cut her off. Jax recovered and hit a crossbody on Tamina and Natalya. This spot looked fucking terrible. Tamina and Natalya were standing there which looked like it was about a good 6 or 7 seconds. They were standing there just waiting for Nia Jax to come off the top rope, and they all looked like they were fucking zoned out, just waiting there. The camera usually moves away, so you don't have to see this shit, but whoever was working the cameras fucked up, got a glimpse of Natalya just standing there. Nobody even threw their arms up to try and catch her or block her or deflect her, which I assume is a very difficult thing to do. But Nia Jax came off the top rope and hit a crossbody on Tamina and Natalya. So Jax was talking trash to Tamina. She dropped the S word, and then she dropped the B word, bitch, and shit. They blanked out shit, but they let bitch fly. So Tamina heard enough, hit Jax in the face with a big overhand right, and then she slammed Jax in a body slam, or what I saw was a half body slam. She didn't get her all the way up. Fans broke into another Tamina chant here. Don't know why. They were probably more drunk than they were before because this match wasn't really all that good. Tamina attempted a superfly splash, which looked awful. Jax moved out of the way. Natalya tagged in and knocked Baszler off the apron, but Baszler made a blind tag. Finish came when Natalya locked on the sharpshooter on Jax, which was just not going to happen. Baszler was the legal woman in the match because she made a blind tag. Baszler jumped in and locked on the Kirifuda clutch for the win. I love Shayna Baszler, man. I really do. She comes in the most inopportune times when nobody knows and everybody's so blinded with what's going on. She's just a step ahead of the game. Comes in as the legal woman, nobody knows, Kirifuda clutch, and she wins the match. Nia Jax should be lucky Shayna Baszler is her tag team partner because she's the only one with a fucking brain on this team. They retain the tag team championships. I like this. I was thinking about it. I like it. I like the fact that they actually retain the championships. There's no competition in the women's tag team division. Everybody is just a makeshift, put together randomly tag team. If this means that Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler retain the championships to ultimately drop them to the Riot Squad, I'm all for that. I think the Riot Squad would be better and put over more if they beat Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, because in the end of it all, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler have run through every supposed tag team that WWE has thrown in their way. Even Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks they went through. And if the Riot Squad really gets that one big match and gets that big victory over Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, it's going to mean a lot more to them than just beating a tag team in Tamina and Natalya, who took the titles off of Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler and held them for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. We got long reigning tag team champions here, so it's going to mean more to the Riot Squad when that eventually happens. So if that is where the end goal is here, I'm all for it. Because I do think Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan deserve a shot at the tag team championships and a shot with the tag team titles. Even though they don't really mean much of anything right now, I do think that they deserve a shot. This was much better than what we got last night, but still not really the way I would open up a 1-2 punch at WrestleMania. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, finally, after 1 hour, WrestleMania felt like WrestleMania. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. This was a great match between these two. A little short. I will say a little short. Really nothing out of the ordinary here if you guys watched any of their previous 600 matches. But I would have watched these guys for another 10 minutes or so at WrestleMania. I understand why it went the length that it did. There really wasn't anything on the line but bragging rights here for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. It's not like this match was for a title or it was the culmination of a 6-month feud. These guys randomly got thrown into a 3-week feud at WrestleMania because WWE was desperate to fill out the card with anything that they possibly could. And the best option for them was, hey, these guys are best friends in real life. They should be able to give us a WrestleMania quality match. Let's do it. Even though there's no storyline there. That's pretty much what happened here. These guys had a very good match for the time that they were given. Sami Zayn came out first and introduced Logan Paul as his guest. Sami Zayn was very excited to be on the WrestleMania card. His body language showed it. And the crowd sang along to Sami Zayn's theme music, and it was music to my ears, man. I love it. I missed fans so much. He introduced Logan Paul. The fans booed. Logan Paul, of course they would. And Zayn was dancing to Paul's music, which was hilarious. It was hilarious on SmackDown when he was dressed in his silly suit dancing, and it was just as hilarious here. Sami Zayn is a fucking national treasure. Easily one of the best things on Friday Night SmackDown. So the fans broke into a KO chant. Kevin Owens came down the aisle. He was also excited to be there. Jake Paul, or Logan Paul rather, whoever, Jake, Logan, no difference. Logan Paul sat ringside with the commentators. He didn't do commentary, but he was sitting, observing this match. The bell rang. Zayn charged at Owens immediately. Owens hit a pop-up powerbomb for a near fall. Owens was firmly in control here, hit a cannonball on Sami Zayn. Owens then avoided a suplex by Sami on the apron. Zayn quickly recovered, hit a brain buster on the apron to take over. There were Logan Paul sucks chants in Raymond James Stadium. He was showing some emotion during some of the big moves here. Zayn hit a Michinoku driver on Kevin Owens. And Michael Cole called it accidentally the Blue Thunder Bomb. Corey Graves corrected him. Cole, it's a Michinoku driver, not a Blue Thunder Bomb. I'm saving you from the internet tonight. And then Michael Cole went on and said, yeah, I got a bunch of that from last night. So I love the wisecracks between Michael Cole and Corey Graves. They know what's going on. They're not stupid. And I love how Corey Graves is always quick. And I love that he's got that relationship with Michael Cole. It just makes the commentary seem a little bit more organic when most of the time it does not. So I really like that. Owens was hit with the Michinoku driver for a near fall. And Owens and Zayn fought on the top rope. Owens knocked Zayn down with a headbutt. He followed up with a beautiful bullfrog splash for a near fall of his own. Kevin Owens then hit a modified backbreaker for another near fall. It almost looked like a suplex into a neck breaker combo. Almost like a Ushigoroshi like Adam Cole does, but it was devastating nonetheless. Zayn recovered, and this is where Zayn's offense really was explosive, man. I love Sami Zayn's offense. So he hit an exploded suplex in the corner. Zayn missed a haluva kick, hit the Blue Thunder Bomb anyway. Zayn then hits a series of suplexes in the corner, hit a brain buster, and he went for a 2 count. Fans broke into a "This is awesome" chant. Zayn's offense was awesome. It really was. So Zayn attempted a superplex. Owens reversed it into a suplex off the top rope. Owens hit a running clothesline in the corner, attempted a second running clothesline, but Zayn hit the haluva kick. Zayn went for the haluva kick again, but Owens hit a super kick. Owens then hit a second super kick and followed up with a Stone Cold Stunner on Sami Zayn for the big victory, and he pins Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. After the match, Logan Paul jumped in to check on Sami Zayn. Logan Paul congratulated Owens, tried to shake his hand. Zayn became very angry that Logan Paul was turning his back on him. Sami Zayn was yelling at him, "You are my invited guest at WrestleMania, not this guy. This guy is conspiring against me." Yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Fans were booing Logan Paul. So Kevin Owens remained in the ring. Logan Paul remained in the ring. Logan Paul went over to Kevin Owens and grabbed him by the hand and raised his hand in victory. And you just sensed the crowd was out for blood. They were cheering Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens knew exactly what they all wanted. And they wanted a stunner to Logan Paul, which is exactly what they got. And Logan Paul looked like he was snapped in half from this stunner by Kevin Owens. He flopped over like a fish. And that was pretty much it to a huge pop. Kevin Owens got his WrestleMania moment there by giving Logan Paul the Stone Cold Stunner. Great match. Could have went a little bit longer, but I understand why it did not. This was legitimately the start of WrestleMania for me. I would imagine that this is not done yet with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I hope it's not, because it's very interesting. I am very curious to see where they go with this. And maybe WWE can turn this around and give it a little bit more meaning than just building this feud around the inclusion of Logan Paul. So we'll see what happens. But this was easily, up until this point, which was not a very difficult thing to do, the best thing on the night so far through the first hour of WrestleMania 37. Matt Riddle versus Sheamus for the United States Championship. This was definitely one of the best things on both night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania. Before the match, Matt Riddle, he scootered up to the Great Khali. There was a Great Khali sighting here. The Great Khali! He was there, unfortunately. And he was there with Ranjin Singh, his handler. He congratulated the Great Khali on his Hall of Fame induction, and he asked to see his Hall of Fame ring. Riddle was amazed at the size of Great Khali's hand. Then he said Great Khali should open up a store and sell giant things, including giant scooters, giant gloves, giant shoes, giant toilets, you name it. Everything specifically made for giants. So the Great Khali had absolutely nothing to say. Nothing to say, just stood there in silence. Stood there in silence. Said nothing. I guess he didn't find Matt Riddle funny. I don't know. So all of a sudden, Riddle asks for a translator. Walks in, RVD. So RVD walked in as the translator and said for the store to work, this giant store, for this giant store to work, they need creative marketing. And RVD was the guy. Hey, I'm your guy for creative marketing. Just look at my RVD rolling papers. So RVD wished Riddle luck against Sheamus. So clearly, if RVD and Matt Riddle were in the same building on the same night, there had to be a segment with RVD and Matt Riddle. Now, my first inclination is these guys should be a permanent act on television, but I like the more serious and sometimes joking Matt Riddle better than the always joking Matt Riddle and not so serious Matt Riddle. But I do think RVD and Matt Riddle would probably have a natural chemistry together where it would mostly be entertaining between the two, but I don't necessarily think that would be a good look for Matt Riddle's career. I just take him to be a little bit more of a serious act. Now, WWE doesn't take him to be a serious act. WWE usually books him to laugh at him and not with him. And Matt Riddle's a great professional wrestler. There's no reason why this guy, especially after tonight, shouldn't be a top babyface on Raw challenging Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. I mean, there's nobody else. There legitimately is nobody else as far as top baby faces on Raw that are fresh for Bobby Lashley. So it's going to be interesting to see. But this was a great match. And this should have been a great match. I had no doubt about it of it being a great match. The matches that these guys had on Monday Night Raw this year alone were fucking great. Some of the best things on Raw all year came from these two together in the ring. Matt Riddle just won the United States Championship at Fastlane, and the way Sheamus was going and the way Sheamus has been booked, especially after he was ingrained in this feud with Drew McIntyre and he came out on the losing end and he didn't really do much of anything else on Raw. This match simply came about with him losing to Drew McIntyre, him walking around in the back after his loss to McIntyre, and Matt Riddle asked Sheamus what he thought of his new scooter. And thus, the match was made. So that's why we got the match at WrestleMania. And just based off how much Sheamus lost in recent months, there was no doubt in my mind that he was going to win the United States Championship tonight, and that is exactly what happened. And I could not be more happier for Sheamus. This was the right creative decision. So as far as the match is concerned, this was just as good as their other matches, and in front of a live audience, which was great. Riddle got a big reaction. That was something that I was looking forward to. Riddle got a very big reaction from the audience, a lot of bro chants when he made his entrance, and that is the first taste of what management is going to look at when they see Matt Riddle in front of a live audience. He's going to be over. And I hope that translates to WWE management in a way where they start thinking, hey, we need to start pushing this guy. He's over with the fans. The fans want to see him more. The fans are taking a liking to him. You really couldn't gauge that with guys like Matt Riddle, with guys like Keith Lee in the Thunderdome. You couldn't do it. Nobody was really over because WWE was giving you what they wanted. They were pushing and putting people over that they wanted over. So having Matt Riddle in front of a live audience is going to be a major upside to him because it's going to tell management, do we push him or do we not push him? And the WrestleMania crowd, you can't get any more easy than that. Listen to them. They know best. So Sheamus rocked Riddle right at the start of the bell with the shoulder block. Riddle fought back with the sleeper hold. Sheamus was backed into the corner. Sheamus then hit an Irish curse backbreaker for the first near fall. Riddle fought back briefly. Sheamus hit a suplex for a near fall. Sheamus climbed to the top rope. Riddle jumped to the top rope and delivered an overhead belly-to-belly / Spanish fly off the top rope, which looked awesome. Absolutely awesome. Riddle fired up. He had a forearm in the corner. He followed with a suplex and then a Broton. Riddle then pulled out Goldberg's jackhammer for a near fall. And I can't be a hypocrite, man. I can't be a hypocrite. I mentioned this in the Seth Rollins-Cesaro match from night one. That's Goldberg's finishing move. You know, a lot of people have kicked out of the jackhammer. In all of these matches that Goldberg has had back in WWE, all it is nothing more than trading finishing moves back and forth 5 or 6 times in a match. So I guess it really doesn't matter. It's more so for Triple H's pedigree that Rollins used, more so than the jackhammer by Matt Riddle using Goldberg's finishing move. Regardless of the situation, I don't think anybody should be using anybody else's finishing move in their match and using it as a mere setup move. It doesn't really look good. It's a finishing move for a reason. Keep it at being a finishing move. And don't use it as a mere setup move in your match for someone to kick out of, because it only does make the finishing move look weak when it's being done again in the right circumstance. So I didn't like that. So after the jackhammer, Riddle went for a buckshot lariat. Sheamus hit a knee for a very close near fall. Sheamus followed up with a big Alabama slam on Matt Riddle. Riddle and Sheamus were fighting on the apron. Riddle pushed Sheamus into the ring post, hit a German suplex on the apron to follow. He followed up with a big moonsault. Riddle hit the floating bro for a near fall. Sheamus then countered an armbar into a powerbomb. Sheamus and Riddle were fighting up on the top rope. Sheamus was going for a top rope white noise, and he was in terrible position. And this is the spot I'm glad they did not pull off. And this is the spot in the match where I'm going to tell you, Sheamus is a consummate professional. Sheamus knows what the fuck he's doing, man. He was about to deliver a white noise, but where he was positioned on the second rope, he tried to carry Matt Riddle and walk up to the top turnbuckle from the second turnbuckle. He didn't have his footing, and he didn't have a grasp with his hands on anything but Matt Riddle. He tried to do this all in one motion. He tried it, and he tried his best to do it and pull it off because it was the spot that was supposed to happen. He ended up slipping, and he caught his footing just in time to get back into the ring, and he did the white noise anyway in the ring without it being off the top rope and being a fucking absolute disaster. So good on Sheamus for looking out and protecting Matt Riddle in that dangerous spot. He tried, but he could not do it. So we got a knee from the top rope for Sheamus. He went and got a near fall off of that. The finish was fucking great. Came out of nowhere, but it was absolutely a finish of a match. Riddle went for a second rope moonsault in the ring. Bounced off the rope, springboard moonsault. He was upside down, and Sheamus, midair, hit a bro kick right in the face of Matt Riddle. Made the cover 1, 2, 3, and that was it. Sheamus, the point of Sheamus's boot, hit Matt Riddle right in the face. And that was it. Matt Riddle came up bloodied and Sheamus is the new United States champion. This was a great match. This was the best match up until this point. We got WrestleMania starting legitimately with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. That should have opened the show. This should have followed. And everything else that opened the show should have came somewhere in the middle. Or should have been spaced out a little bit better. But this was awesome. Sheamus winning the United States Championship is the absolute right decision. I don't know where they go from here with Sheamus and his opponents. You know, we need to start seeing some up-and-coming baby faces. I could see Keith Lee come back, challenge Keith Lee for the United States Championship. I could see some Ricochet matches in there if they want to start pushing him, which I highly doubt. Matt Riddle, there really is no baby faces for Bobby Lashley on Monday Night Raw. You could use Keith Lee in that situation, but he's been gone so long that he needs to be completely rebuilt and repackaged. Matt Riddle, I could see sliding into that spot if they build him up for a couple weeks and challenge Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. He needs some legitimate competition. And this was my problem with Bobby Lashley being the WWE Champion when a lot of people said, you know, why don't you think he's the guy? Because WWE doesn't have any baby faces on Monday Night Raw. Who are you going to put him against? Nobody thinks ahead. A lot of people in this community think in the now. Why are you thinking in the now without thinking 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks from now? That's what you got to do. Who do you put up against Bobby Lashley? Matt Riddle is up there. He's good enough to be there. Keith Lee, Ricochet, Drew McIntyre's done. Bray Wyatt is done. Randy Orton has had his title shots. Jeff Hardy, he wasn't even at WrestleMania. There's no baby faces on Raw. None. It's going to be very interesting to see what WWE does to build Bobby Lashley up with his new challenge after WrestleMania. Big E and Apollo Crews. This one was for the Intercontinental Championship. The one thing I loved about SmackDown outside of Roman Reigns was Big E and Apollo Crews and the story that they have built up over the Intercontinental Championship. The one thing I did not like about this feud was the way WWE handled the match at Fastlane. I would have never booked this match at Fastlane. I would have never booked these two guys at Fastlane knowing that you were only going to do this match at WrestleMania anyway. It didn't need to happen at Fastlane. Fastlane didn't need to happen, period. WWE botched the ending there. They did nothing to cover their tracks. They just went ahead and booked the rematch at WrestleMania with no explanation as to why anything happened at Fastlane. And then they gave you a Nigerian drum fight stipulation, which nobody knew about leading into the match. WWE probably didn't know up until about 7:30 tonight, right before WrestleMania went on the air. And the other thing I didn't like about this was WWE started touting Big E as being a hometown guy and living in Tampa. Where was this the entire time WrestleMania was being built up? I don't really understand it. That must have slipped your minds in the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Why did you wait up until Friday night to tell me that Big E was a hometown guy? Are we supposed to know that immediately? Right off the top of our heads? That's a pretty big fucking detail. That's a pretty big part of the story. Him going into WrestleMania, the hometown guy. Now you want to tell me on the weekend of WrestleMania, while these guys have been building this feud for about 3 months now. Great. Seemingly that wasn't an important detail for Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon to get across to the viewing audience at home. I was very much looking forward to this match, man. I really was. I was very much looking forward to this match. I was very much looking forward to Apollo having a very competitive match, really doing what he needed to do to beat Big E and win the Intercontinental Championship, because if he didn't do it, Apollo was as good as buried. He won the championship, but man, this match left a lot to be desired. It really did. This was one of the more disappointing matches on the entire show. This match, this feud has been fucking great. This feud, outside of what Roman Reigns has done on SmackDown, was the next best thing in all of WWE. Big E's attitude and his demeanor and his intensity, fucking off the charts fantastic. Apollo Crews and his heel turn. A lot of people don't like Apollo Crews. They don't like the heel turn. They don't like the accent. They don't like the gimmick that he's transformed himself into. I think it's great. He needed a gimmick. He was nothing more than smiley Apollo Crews, who we all know sat in catering for 4 years. This is exactly what he needed. Is the accent needed after he spoke perfect English all these years? No. Is it a little silly? Yes, but it gives his character a sense of authenticity. I think it's great. This match should have been so much more. And Apollo needed this win. In the end, we got an Apollo win. He's the new Intercontinental Champion. But man, the match itself was not the conclusion of a feud that we all really thoroughly enjoyed on SmackDown. So this match, a Nigerian drum fight, was nothing more than a no disqualification, no count-out match. Pretty much a no DQ match. WWE concealed it under their own little silly stipulation gimmick match. Tables, kendo sticks, drums. We got a big gong. The big symbol of the gong was standing around ringside. That was used as a weapon. We got Big E. His entrance was performed by Wyatt, which I thought was great. Out of all the musical performances on WrestleMania tonight, Wyatt was probably the best one. Now, I don't necessarily think he was legitimately singing. I think he was lip-syncing, which sucks. I don't really understand the lip-syncing part of it, but that's what happens when you want to have a performance sound as close to the actual recording as possible. That also goes to show you that he might not be as talented as everybody thinks he is because he can't perform his own music live without the backing track. I don't really appreciate that. But he's got great stage presence. That's just me. So Wyatt performed Big E's entrance, and the fans gave Big E a big reaction when he made his entrance. It really was a superstar-like entrance for Big E. The intensity was there. Awesome stuff by Big E. Apollo made his way out to the ring, and he came out with this big giant spear. He looked great. I love him in the white and the green. He must have been thrilled to finally be in a major role at WrestleMania. The bell rang. They both jumped right out of the ring to go get kendo sticks. They traded kendo stick shots in the ring back and forth. Crews briefly gained control with the kendo stick. Big E fought back, hit a massive spear through the ropes, nearly killing both of them as they went out to the floor. The fans broke into a loud, "Let's go Big E" chant. Big E set up some ringside steps, which has been a major weapon used in this feud, especially by Apollo Crews. Crews countered them with a Death Valley driver on the apron for a near fall. So he thwarted Big E and the usage of the steel steps. So Crews placed Big E onto the bottom portion of the steel steps, and he positioned the steel steps right next to the side of the ring. He had the other half of the steel steps as he was standing on the apron, and he was about to drop and smash Big E with the steps while he was laying on the other half of the steel steps. The camera angle was really nice here because they didn't really show Big E as they shown Apollo Crews lift the stairs up. And all of a sudden you see Big E roll out of the way as Apollo throws these big steps down onto the outside, and Big E evades this massive attack by Apollo Crews. That was really a nice spot there. So they fought on the apron, and Crews charged at Big E. Big E countered, hit a Uranagi off the apron onto the steel steps on Apollo, which looked like it fucking sucked. Big E set up a table in the ring. Crews fought back and destroyed Big E with the kendo stick. He went shot after shot after shot after shot, literally breaking the kendo stick over Big E. So Crews placed Big E on a folding table that was in the ring. It was set up in the ring. He was laying flat on this folding table. Apollo Crews goes up to the top rope. He jumps off with a frog splash. He goes right into the table as he misses Big E. Big E moved out of the way. Big E then hit the big ending. And here I am thinking that Apollo Crews is going to lose yet another Intercontinental Championship match. And suddenly, Baba Tunde, Daba Kato, if you guys remember from Shane McMahon's Raw Underground, who was throwing guys around left and right every single week. He even had a stare down and a match with Braun Strowman on Monday Night Raw. Daba Kato came out in this Nigerian commander jacket with his long braids, and he took Big E and he chokeslammed Big E in the ring, dragged Apollo Crews over on top of Big E. 1, 2, 3. And Apollo Crews wins the Intercontinental Championship with the help of Daba Kato, who clearly is not known as Daba Kato anymore. He is now known, I believe, as Commander Azizi or something like that, something along those names. WWE had trademarked a new name as of late for Commander Aziz or something along those lines. And that is what the speculation is as far as what his name will be in WWE. The announce team played this off as, who is this giant man? Where did he come from? Who is he? Look at the size of this guy. I'm sorry, Michael Cole. Am I not supposed to know who this guy is when I just witnessed this guy on Monday Night Raw? Maybe less than 3-4 months ago? Why does WWE take us to be fucking stupid? Everybody should know who this is. Or maybe you don't, because nobody watches fucking Monday Night Raw. It's ridiculous. They acted as if nobody knew who this guy was. So everything that I watched on Monday Night Raw was just an illusion. I get that you want fresh starts for people, but, I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. Now, what do I think of the pairing? I think the pairing might actually work. It's similar, don't get me wrong. It looks to be very similar to what AJ Styles is doing with Omos, but I think Apollo Crews, he was already a sly, sneaky, sniveling heel anyway, right? So why not add somebody to back him up in the form of a bodyguard? I think it could work out great. We'll see how it goes. I've enjoyed Apollo's work up until this point. He's now the Intercontinental Champion, and he's got himself some backup. I don't see this as a bad thing. I only see it as a good thing. Because Apollo's a heel. He's got himself some backup. Now he can protect himself and the Intercontinental Championship and continue to build upon his heel gimmick, making him more of a heel. This is a great move. Plus, you get use out of this guy who, I mean, let's be honest, there's not really much of a use for Daba Kato anyway, just like there's not really a use for Omos. So you might as well put him with somebody and, have him play this bodyguard-like role. He doesn't necessarily look Nigerian, but I think this is going to be a great pairing, and I think it's going to work out for Apollo Crews. He'll make it work. He's done a great job with this gimmick, and I'm definitely going to give this a chance. I really am. Apollo Crews wins the Intercontinental Championship, and that was pretty much it. A very disappointing match, especially given how great this feud has been on SmackDown, being the single best thing besides Roman Reigns in all of WWE. Now, where does Big E go from this? Is Big E ready for the Universal Championship run? No. I do not think so. This is clearly not over. This is clearly not over. If anything, Big E is going to chase the Intercontinental Championship back because of what Apollo Crews has done. Big E's not going to challenge for the Universal Championship. If you think he's ready for the Universal Championship, you guys are really, really fucking naive. Roman Reigns is not losing. Why would you put Big E in a situation now when Roman Reigns just devoured Edge and Daniel Bryan and pinned them both at the same time? Let the guy feast. He's clearly not done yet. If Big E and Roman Reigns are in the ring, Roman Reigns is just going to make Big E another casualty. Simple. Rhea Ripley and Asuka. This was for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. This match had no story. Whatsoever. And the video package that WWE, it was very laughable. Very laughable that WWE tried to make a story out of this, and there was none whatsoever. In fact, the video packages that WWE gave us tonight made it seem like this feud was happening over the course of 2 months. The video packages were longer than the actual feud itself, which lasted 1 week. This match simply came about because Rhea Ripley pointed out a logo, asked for a title match, Asuka obliged, Asuka said yes, and the title match was made. That was it. Rhea Ripley, I am not a fan of Rhea Ripley at this moment. I think she's overproduced. I don't think she really comes off as genuine. There's nothing about Rhea Ripley that stands out to me as star or superstar like everybody thinks she is. She's not there yet. She's not there yet. I thought the same thing about Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair is a bigger star than Rhea Ripley. I get the fact that they gave the championship to Bianca Belair because they want to build new stars. I get the fact that they did the same thing with Rhea Ripley tonight. But that doesn't make it right. That doesn't make it right in both cases, if you want me to be perfectly honest with you. Now, the thing with Rhea Ripley is, I don't know exactly what it is with her, if she's overproduced. I mentioned this several times on the podcast on Monday night. She almost comes off like a poser. You ever get that kid in high school that tried to fit in by saying he listens to the same music you do, but he doesn't really listen to the Megadeths or the Slayers or the Sepulturas or the Fear Factories or the Machine Heads or the Testaments. He's actually listening to Blink-182 and the Foo Fighters and all these fucking sissy bands. Good Charlotte, Avenged Sevenfold. Give me a break. Give me a fucking break, man. That's what I look at when I see Rhea Ripley. This match made no sense whatsoever. Rhea Ripley didn't really belong there. She didn't deserve to be there tonight. I don't give a fuck how bad the division is. You should take care of Asuka. That should be your number one priority. Taking care of Asuka. The thing with this is, everybody knew Rhea Ripley was going to win this because they seemingly gave up on Asuka. Asuka hasn't been booked in anything for about 8 months on Monday Night Raw. They haven't had any creative plans with Asuka at all. Probably dating back to her feud with Sasha Banks. That's the last time Asuka had any fucking creative feud on Monday night. So with Asuka, I think the last time she actually defended the title was maybe before Hell in a Cell, if I'm not mistaken, which is a very long time. That is a very long time. I think the last big match that Asuka had was against Sasha Banks at the Survivor Series, and that match really didn't mean much of anything, to be quite honest with you. Rhea Ripley winning the championship is not the right idea. It's not the right creative decision. Because where does she go from here? She beat Asuka. Unless WWE's bringing back Becky Lynch tomorrow, I can't really see Rhea Ripley doing much of anything. So what exactly are they going to do with Rhea Ripley? Mandy Rose? Dana Brooke? Naomi? Lana? What exactly is there for Rhea Ripley to do? Have you lined up any opponents for Rhea Ripley that could be looked at as a considerable threat? No. No. So her winning the championship really doesn't help the division. Are you making a new star? Yeah, maybe for one night. But all you're doing right now is making Rhea Ripley a target for somebody like a Becky Lynch and somebody like a Charlotte Flair. And when that loss inevitably comes, what exactly are you going to remember about Rhea Ripley winning this championship tonight? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Rhea Ripley winning the championship tonight was as lifeless and as soulless as anything I've ever witnessed at WrestleMania. Nobody gave a shit. The crowd was dead for 75% of it. Why was it dead, you're probably asking? There's no story. Rhea Ripley just shows up, asks for a title match, gets it, and we don't know what she is, who she is, or what side of the fence she's on, babyface or heel. Why would Rhea Ripley be cheered when everybody loves Asuka? Why would Rhea Ripley be cheered when everybody thinks Asuka deserves better? So now Rhea Ripley's public enemy number one. You put her in a situation where nobody really gave a shit about her because there was no storyline going into it, and then you beat somebody that is beloved as Raw Women's Champion. So Rhea Ripley, right off the bat, she got off on the wrong foot. And who do you think is waiting in their fucking home in Orlando, Florida? Who do you think is waiting, watching this show tonight, licking their lips, ready to feast? The Android Queen is waiting. If it's not Becky, if she doesn't go to SmackDown, it's going to be Charlotte Flair. Or maybe WWE surprises us and sends Io Shirai to Monday Night Raw, and we get Io and Rhea Ripley on Monday Night Raw, and even then, nobody's going to want Rhea to retain the championship, especially with somebody like Io Shirai. Nobody. Either way you look at it, Rhea Ripley is fucked. Her win tonight was absolutely soulless and lifeless. That's the best way for me to put it. Rhea Ripley came out and they had her theme song, Brutality, live played to the ring. I don't know the name of the band. Ash Costello, I think it is, the singer. Whoever it was, my God, it sounded fucking terrible. It sounded god-awful. And you are not going to tell me otherwise. There are some bands that just do not sound good live. I've been to many at concerts. Some of my favorite bands do not sound good live. Even the band, who are they, Downstate? That does Cody's song? Even they sucked when they performed his song live. And that's a great theme song. But this band, whoever the fuck they are, man, they sounded absolutely atrocious. Whoever the lead singer is, man, it almost sounded like she had no musical background whatsoever. It's like they found somebody off the streets in Tampa, Florida, and picked out one of the most goth-looking fucking chick singers you could possibly find and put them in a metal band and make them sound cool. Then I got geeks on social media calling me a sexist because I have a problem with women fronting a band. I'm sorry. There's many bands that I listen to that are fronted by a female singer. How the fuck do you know who I listen to? This shit sucked. In fact, just based on the performance, Rhea Ripley should have lost this fucking match. That's how bad it was. So we got this match to start. Fans were chanting for Rhea, and she got the special introduction for the match. The fans cheered for both Rhea and Asuka. Rhea actually came off like a heel on the episodes of Monday Night Raw leading into this because she attacked Asuka on the Go Home show. But the fans were cheering for her here. Asuka to drop kick, but Rhea didn't go down. Asuka made several pin attempts here, but Rhea kicked out. Ripley rolled to the floor, but Asuka took her out with a knee to the face. Asuka missed the hip attack, her signature hip attack. Ripley took over. Fans broke into a dueling, let's go Asuka, let's go Rhea chant. Rhea slowed the pace down with body scissors. The fans booed as Ripley started to pretty much taunt Asuka at this time. Ripley continued to trash talk Asuka. Ripley then kicked Asuka, or tried to at least, but she got caught in a knee bar. Ripley powered out, hit a German suplex. Ripley once again slowed the pace down and backed Asuka into a corner. Ripley placed Asuka on the top rope, but Asuka fought and knocked her off. Asuka followed up with a beautiful missile dropkick. Asuka then hit a German suplex and then finally hit the hip attack, hit a series of strikes, and then a very stiff kick to the head on Rhea. Followed up with another hip attack for a near fall. Asuka then climbed to the top, but Ripley cut her off with a dropkick. Ripley then dropped Asuka face first on the apron. Asuka recovered, hit another hip attack. Asuka, in one of the sickest spots of the night, hits a DDT, a flying DDT off of the apron onto Rhea, onto the floor, and they both splatted on the mats outside. Ripley avoided a sliding knee and stomped on Asuka. Ripley applied a submission hold, but Asuka reversed it into an armbar. Ripley broke free. Ripley attempted the waist lock, but Asuka reversed it into another armbar. She then applied the Asuka lock. Ripley reversed it into a near fall. And then the finish came when Asuka took out Ripley with a series of kicks. She was dazed. Ripley then challenged Asuka to hit her again. Asuka went for another kick, ran at Ripley. Ripley ducked, hit the riptide. 1, 2, 3. Rhea Ripley is the new Raw Women's Champion. That was it. The match wasn't all that good, to be perfectly honest with you. And there is clear differences between what Sasha and Bianca did and Rhea Ripley and Asuka and what they did. I want you guys to pay attention to what you're watching. Asuka and Rhea Ripley, nobody gave a shit about. There's no story there. Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, there was also not much of a story there anyway, but it goes to show you how important those two women are compared to Asuka and Rhea Ripley. Bianca Belair's moment shined at WrestleMania, and she's a young, up-and-coming future piece of that women's division. She won the SmackDown Championship, and everybody was elated when she won. Now look at when Rhea Ripley won the championship tonight. Did you get any of that vibe? Did you get any of that excitement from when Rhea Ripley won the championship? Did you get any of that? Oh my God, we're on the verge of the next big thing in the women's division. The next breakout star in the women's division. I didn't. And if you did get that feeling, you're lying to yourself. Asuka carried Rhea Ripley through most of this match, and Asuka deserved better. Asuka absolutely deserved better. Rhea Ripley didn't belong there. Rhea Ripley did nothing to earn her spot there. I don't give a fuck what she did or the lack thereof of what she did last year when she was supposed to be in the women's championship match in front of fans last year. I don't care. Last year is last year. Last year's creative is different from this year's creative. Drew McIntyre could have won the WWE Championship if we're talking about the same situation, but he did not. WWE could have easily given him the WWE title and played back the same narrative as they did last year, but they did not. So what makes Rhea Ripley any different? Her being the champion does nothing to fix the division. Nothing. All you did was bury Asuka for 9 months, with the nail in the coffin being tonight. What good is the division with Rhea Ripley as champion? No. No good. Because the division, when you go into Monday Night Raw with Asuka or Rhea as champion, is the same that it's been since the beginning of the year. Fucking trash. All you did was set up Rhea Ripley to get a big WrestleMania moment with Charlotte Flair waiting in the wings to take that championship back inevitably. And then people are going to bitch and moan that Charlotte's a 15-time champion and how WWE brought Rhea up to the main roster to bury her. Rhea actually winning the championship would have been a lot better if she beat Asuka in a non-title match. Charlotte winning the championship from Asuka first. Asuka losing to Rhea. Rhea running through a couple women on the main roster, then getting to Charlotte at SummerSlam and winning the championship at SummerSlam. Why do we need to build immediately and give these WrestleMania moments to people that don't deserve WrestleMania moments? Everybody's excited. All these fucking feminists are excited, you know? Oh, look, women's wrestling. Oh, this and all that. I don't give a fuck about that. To me, everybody's equal. A match is a match. A good match is a good match. A bad match is a bad match. I'm not thinking that way. I'm thinking, okay, what are you doing with this decision and where are you going with it? That's all I give a fuck about. I don't give a fuck who you are or what you are. Does it make sense? Does it logically fit the storyline? Do you got plans after WrestleMania? The answer is no, no, and no. There's a time and a place for everything. Tonight was not the time and the place. It was not. Moving on with the rest of the show. Titus O'Neil. He was with Apollo Crews in Titus Worldwide back in the day. But we got Titus and Hulk Hogan walking out to the stage. They thanked everyone that came to WrestleMania at Raymond James Stadium. And for everybody watching at home, Bayley interrupted and complained that they forgot to thank her. She yelled, "Where's my pyro?" Some pyro went off. She smiled and laughed. She said she had to deal with idiots all weekend like Michael Cole walking all over her. She said this is her time to shine. Then the Bella Twins music comes out. And they interrupted Bayley, Titus, and Hulk Hogan. Bayley told them not to talk because this is her time to shine. Bayley said, John Cena is not here tonight. So Nikki and Brie slapped the microphone out of Bayley's hand, beat her up, threw her down the aisleway, And then they took the microphone and said, ding dong, goodbye to Bayley. The crowd was obviously booing the Bella Twins. And then Titus, Hogan, and the Bella Twins all raised each other's hands on the stage in what I thought was an absolutely abhorrent and embarrassing segment for WrestleMania. These people, Bayley carried this company on her fucking back with Sasha Banks doing the same thing through a goddamn pandemic as they worked out of an empty gymnasium in the Performance Center through most of last year. Bayley and Sasha Banks were two women that single-handedly had the best storyline all year last year on WWE television, which culminated in one of the best matches on WWE pay-per-view last year inside Hell in a Cell. And this is the best that you got for Bayley at WrestleMania? Getting beat up by the Bella Twins? What is it with you fucking people? That's how you reward your MVP of 2020? And yes, she was, with Sasha Banks, the MVP of 2020. More so than Roman Reigns, because they were there all year. And that's how you repay Bayley? By having the Bella Twins come out, embarrass her, beat her up, and throw her down the ramp at WrestleMania? WWE should be fucking ashamed of themselves. And it goes to show you that star power and Hall of Fame and popularity is more important than the actual talent that has helped you carry this company through a fucking pandemic. Shame on you, Vince, and shame on you, Bruce. You both can fucking blow me. What a fucking disgrace. No reason why that woman shouldn't have been at WrestleMania in some sort of match. Yet we got 2 nights of Tamina Snuka. Should have been Asuka and Bianca and Bayley versus Sasha, to be quite honest with you. That's the way it should have been. Bayley should have won the Royal Rumble, and that should have been your WrestleMania main event. Moving on. Main event. Roman Reigns, Edge, Daniel Bryan, Universal Championship triple threat match. Legitimately the only thing on this entire show that was WrestleMania worthy. Everything else was just there. Everything else was just there. This was fantastic. This may actually end up being the match of the entire weekend. This may be the match of the entire weekend. I love this match. I love the story. I love the build. I love Roman Reigns and what he's done. I love Daniel Bryan being added. I love the way that he got involved. I love the match that he and Reigns had at Fastlane. I love the fact that Edge is now the rated R superstar here. Everything about this just gelled. Edge came out first. Or actually, Daniel Bryan came out first, and he got a lukewarm reaction. Edge came out, and he got, from what I heard, a mixture of boos and cheers. I heard more cheers. People that I know that were there said Edge got major cheers from the live audience. It almost sounded like WWE piped in some cheers for Edge. I'm not really sure if that was the case, but somebody correct me if I'm wrong. If you guys heard WWE possibly piping in some artificial crowd noises throughout the evening, throughout the weekend. Roman Reigns came out, and it was very similar to how he was when he was actually a babyface. He got those lukewarm boos, and then it was just kind of something that tapered off. It was more silence than anything. That was the one thing I was surprised about. I honestly think the fans still don't know how to boo Roman Reigns. I don't know if the fans really want to boo him at all because he's so fucking good. Now, the entrance, you know what I think it is with Roman Reigns in the entrance? I honestly think it's the fucking theme music. They got to get rid of that theme music. That theme music just does not fit the tribal chief, head of the table character anymore. It just brings people back to a Roman Reigns that we all fucking hated. They need to change his theme music. Now is a better time than ever to change this guy's theme music. I don't know why they didn't do it. Hopefully, we get to see that. Reigns says he's got something done. They're just waiting for the right time to unveil it. So I'm not really sure when that's going to be, but they need to change this guy's theme music. Roman Reigns was booed. He was booed. But Edge got a very babyface reaction, even though he's been just as heelish as of late compared to Roman Reigns. I was looking forward to this match more than anything on WrestleMania. And it absolutely delivered. I pushed for Bryan and Reigns one-on-one. I pushed for Edge to challenge Drew McIntyre for months and months and months. And I'm glad we got the best of both worlds here. I just did not think Edge and Reigns would have been a good one-on-one match. I do think that Bryan being added the extra element of unpredictability that this match needed. I really do. And the big thing about it is WWE's mindset going into this should have never been about Edge or Bryan. It should have always been about Roman Reigns, even when it was a one-on-one match with Edge. And even when Bryan got added, that mentality should have never changed course. It always should have been about Roman Reigns. How are we going to get Roman Reigns even more over as a heel? How are we going to add another layer to the Roman Reigns character? That's what should have been number one priority. Bryan matters, but he doesn't matter as far as being champion. Edge matters because everything he does, he makes better. But he doesn't matter as far as being champion. He's another added element. Bryan was another added element. Both of these elements added together are only going to make Roman Reigns into a stronger heel. And that's exactly what WWE did tonight. Paul Heyman gets it. Whoever is listening to Paul Heyman, they get it. They understand. At least for right now. They did the right thing tonight. They did the absolute right thing tonight. It was never about Edge. It was never about him getting the championship back that he never lost. It was absolutely never about Bryan. But their stories individually made the overall story for the Universal Championship better because they were both going after the same thing. They were both going after the Universal Championship. They both wanted to be better than Roman Reigns. And when you add all of that together, it makes for a WrestleMania match. It makes the championship important. It makes being in the main event important. So whoever had the mentality of, we're going to take these other layers, feed them to Roman Reigns, increase his value, and in the end, he's going to be bigger for it. That was always the mentality. Always. Now, going into this, I said, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Edge wins the match. As long as Reigns doesn't get pinned. If there was to be another winner here that's not named Roman Reigns, as long as he's not pinned, I don't care. If Bryan is going to win the title for a short run, have him pin Edge. If Edge is going to win the championship, have him pin Bryan. Leave Reigns out of it. Man, did WWE flip the switch on us. Leading up to this match, I was coming up with different variables about what to do. Triple threat match was always in the cards as the most popular option. What were we going to do? There were obviously other plans in place for WWE to book this match and this main event at WrestleMania. Bryan fighting Edge on Saturday, the winner getting Reigns on Sunday. That sounds good, but it also devalues the Royal Rumble because Edge is not really in the main event of WrestleMania. He's fighting for a spot that he already won. So that didn't really make sense. Now, what if Reigns, this was the other option, what if Reigns challenged Bryan or Bryan challenged Reigns, that main event at night one, and he beat Bryan on Saturday in the main event, then goes to Sunday and beats Edge in the main event, and he beats both Edge and Bryan on Saturday and Sunday, and main events WrestleMania both Saturday and Sunday, and still walks out the Universal Champion. That was something that was very intriguing to me because we're still in the mindset of taking those layers, feeding them to Roman, and building Roman up and making him bigger and better and getting him over. That should be the priority. My line of thinking was always, how do we make Roman bigger? WWE went with the triple threat match, and in some way, they still got that outcome. And it was the right outcome, and nobody should question the outcome that you got tonight. Fans were cheering Bryan somewhat. more boos than cheers. Loud yes chants were also met with loud no chants. Edge was the biggest babyface in this match just because, I mean, who doesn't like rated R superstar Edge? I mean, it's very difficult to boo somebody like that. And the best thing that WWE did for Edge was turn him into the rated R superstar. Everybody loves rated R superstar. And then Roman Reigns, I mean, if you don't appreciate what Roman Reigns is doing right now, man, you just should stop watching altogether. You are absolutely a detriment to the product. You don't know jack shit. Roman Reigns is the biggest and best heel in all of professional wrestling right now. It's not even a competition. So don't bring me anybody because nobody is bigger than Roman Reigns. So Reigns threw Bryan to the floor. Uso immediately rocked him with a super kick. He threw Bryan into the ring steps. So Uso was going to be a pain in the ass right from the get-go. And Reigns threw Edge to the floor. Uso knocked him out with a super kick. Reigns and Uso cleared the announce table. Bryan hit a suicide dive. Uso then knocked Bryan down with yet another super kick. So Edge recovered, sent Uso into the steel steps. Edge beat down Reigns, sent him into the ring post. Edge gave Uso an implant DDT on exposed steel steps. Then a medical team ran down to take Uso out of the equation. They helped him to the back. So they made a big deal about him being there, which is completely legal. It all plays into the rules of the triple threat match, but he was taken out because Edge said, you know what? I'm not going to have you fuck up my match. I'm taking you out. So he did. So medical teams came down, referees and officials came down. They escorted him away from ringside. Edge and Bryan, they were trading shots in the middle of the ring. They were all by themselves as Reigns was on the outside. This is something that I want to see. I think the natural progression here from WrestleMania is going to be exactly what you're seeing here. Edge and Bryan is going to be a thing, unless they move Edge to Monday Night Raw. And remember when I talked about Bobby Lashley not having babyface challengers? As long as you give me some reason to believe that Edge deserves it, I'm fine with him. Him and Lashley, I'm fine with it. So we'll see what happens there. But Bryan and Edge had a very nice back and forth trading shots in the middle of the ring. Bryan hit a Hurricane Rana on Edge. Edge rolled through for a near fall. Edge tried to suplex Reigns into the ring. Bryan slid through Reigns' legs, took him out of the match on the outside. Bryan avoided Edge and attempted a suicide dive, but Reigns caught him. Reigns gave Bryan a belly-to-belly suplex on the outside. Reigns rocked Edge with a clothesline. Fans were booing Reigns at this point, really starting to get into the match now as the match went on. Reigns attempted the Superman punch. Edge avoided it, nailed Reigns with a DDT. Reigns hit the Superman punch, and he attempted the spear, and Edge countered into a sunset flip out of the spear for a near fall. Edge and Reigns both went for the spear in this match and then collided in the middle of the ring, head first like two bulls. So they both took each other out of the match. So fans were finally starting to really just get into this. Chance of this is awesome in Raymond James Stadium, and it was awesome. Bryan came in, he seen an opportunity, he went up top, he had a flying headbutt on Edge, and then on Reigns for a near fall. Bryan was rocking Edge and Reigns with yes kicks all over the place. We had yes kicks. Bryan hit Edge with the running knee. He avoided Reigns' Superman punch and hit him with a kick for a near fall. Bryan stomped on Reigns, went for the yes lock. Edge made the save and broke up the submission. Bryan then got the yes lock on Edge. Reigns broke that up. Reigns then gave Bryan a powerbomb onto Edge, who was laying on the mat. So he powerbombed Bryan onto Edge. Roman chants of Roman sucks, and he acknowledged them, and man, he was playing up the crowd really well. His facial demeanor was fucking fantastic. He was looking at the crowd, acknowledge me. Acknowledge me. I love it. This is the Reigns that we all deserved after all these years, man. Him acknowledging this audience the way that he did, man, I couldn't wait to see that Reigns in action. Fucking great. Reigns then gave Bryan a powerbomb off the step through the announce table, and he folded over like an accordion. He was out of the match for a little bit. Suddenly, Edge caught Reigns with a spear off the steps. Out of nowhere, everybody was down. And Edge tried to bring the chair into the ring. Reigns stepped on the chair. He grabbed it. He threw it, grabbed it out of Edge's hands. Edge was holding one piece of the leg of the chair, which somehow broke off when Reigns grabbed it from him. And Edge then locked on a crossface after taking Reigns down. He picks up this one metal bar from the steel steps and puts a crossface on Reigns with the steel bar of the chair as he's got it in Reigns' mouth. Roman Reigns was about to tap out. Bryan stopped him, came into the ring. Reigns was about to hit the mat with his hand. Bryan stopped his hand from hitting the mat. Bryan then applied the yes lock at the same time Edge had the crossface applied. And then Edge and Bryan were going back and forth. Let go of the hold. No, you let go of the hold. You let go of the hold. Then they started trading headbutts back and forth, and they both let go of the hold. That was awesome. I gotta admit, that was awesome. So after that was finished, Bryan went for the running knee. Edge countered with a spear. Reigns went for the Superman punch. Edge avoided it. He then hit his own spear. Edge had the match won, but the referee was 1, 2, and then Bryan on the outside drags the referee out, and the match continues. Edge attacked both guys with a steel chair. He was pissed off at this point. Edge then gave Bryan a concerto. He was out of the match. He went to give a concerto to Reigns. Uso ran back out to make the save. Edge destroyed Uso with the steel chair. Reigns recovered, caught Edge with a spear. He then hit a concerto on Edge. Reigns then dragged Edge, put him on top of Bryan, and he pinned both Daniel Bryan and Edge in the main event of WrestleMania to retain the Universal Championship. That was the sight that we all needed. That was the sight that we all deserved. And that is the sight that now has made Roman Reigns fucking immortal on WWE television. That's it. There's nothing else I am able to tell you guys outside of what I've already expressed in the open of this show. No more nostalgia. Fuck your nostalgia. Fuck your legends coming back, potentially winning against somebody that should not be beaten, like Roman Reigns. I never advocated for Daniel Bryan to win the title. Never. I wanted him there. I wanted story. I didn't want Bryan to win the championship when it didn't call for him to win the championship. And you guys who were very greedy, being Edge fans, wanting him to beat Reigns, you never seen the bigger picture. You didn't get it. Edge fans did not get it this year. You were blinded by him being away for 10 years. It doesn't matter how long he's gone. This is Roman Reigns' time. Edge is here to put over Reigns, and rightfully so. Bryan put over Reigns, so why wouldn't Edge put over Reigns? I don't get it. The outcome was correct. There's no rematches. The only thing I could possibly be on SmackDown, the only thing I could possibly see on SmackDown, or the only thing that could possibly be as far as the rematch goes for Edge, is Jey Uso. We haven't seen Jimmy yet. I expected him to come out tonight. I did not see Jimmy Uso, but the only thing I could possibly see Edge saying as far as the rematch goes is Jey Uso. But even that, it's a stretch. It really is. Because Jey Uso's involvement in this match is just like Edge picking up a steel chair or picking up a steel steps and using it. Everything is legal. If he has an issue with anybody, it should not be with Reigns. Edge used the same rules that Roman Reigns used in this triple threat match to try and win. If Edge has any issue, it's going to be with Bryan, because Bryan should really be looked at, as far as Edge is concerned, as the one who took his opportunity away by even being there. So that should be the match. As far as your Edge fantasies about Roman Reigns and him winning the championship, you might have a better chance over on Monday Night Raw. SmackDown is reserved for the Tribal Chief. SmackDown is reserved for the head of the table. There's no more rematches. There's no more excuses. Roman Reigns beat both Edge and Daniel Bryan at the same time, and that is the way it should have been, and that is the right outcome for WrestleMania. No more questions. The only thing on this night that was WrestleMania worthy was that main event right there, and they delivered in every possible way in the main event. I can't wait to see what they do with Roman Reigns next. It's going to be very interesting to see where they go as far as who his next opponent is. Are they going to go the Big E route? I don't think so. I think Big E is still going to have a problem with Apollo. Is Brock Lesnar coming back? I could see Ronda Rousey showing up on Raw and Brock Lesnar going to Fox. I could see it because Paul Heyman's there. Paul Heyman has nothing to do on Monday Night Raw. So I could see Lesnar and Reigns being the next big thing. Maybe that's what they were waiting for Lesnar to do and not Drew McIntyre or Bobby Lashley. That's going to be interesting to see the dynamic between Lesnar back possibly and a Roman Reigns heel character and Paul Heyman where his allegiance is going to lie. That may be the next thing because there's nobody on SmackDown in Roman Reigns' fucking universe that is even close to being at that level. And if you don't have anybody at that level, then you shouldn't even be thinking or contemplating in any possible way taking that championship over Roman Reigns. You'll know when someone is ready. And right now, nobody is ready to take that title off Roman Reigns. That is my WrestleMania review and breakdown, guys. I appreciate y'all being here so much, man. You made this weekend absolutely fantastic. No doubt in my mind, we were number one tonight. Unreal. Unreal. 3,800 live in the chat tonight. We got 1,100 likes. The goal is 1,500, guys. If you don't hit the thumbs up on the way out, I'll be very disappointed, man. Please. It helps out every little bit. Hit the thumbs up on the way out. Let's try for 1,500. If you enjoyed the review, if you enjoyed the podcast tonight, if you enjoyed anything that you heard here, please hit that thumbs up on the way out. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. And please check out my sponsor, Dr. Squatch, man. I've lived and died by Dr. Squatch for the last year, man. I use it every single day, and I truly believe in the product. You guys can save 20% off using code SCRIPT at checkout. drsquatch.com. And make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at JDfromNY 206. It's about time we go over these super chats, man. Thank you to everybody that has given super chats tonight. Let's do it big, man. We're going to start right at the top for night 2 of WrestleMania. If I can find you guys, let's see. Let me see what we got here, man. I don't even know where we start. Oh, here we go. This is the beginning here. I'm trying really hard to find where these super chats start. Blazer with a $1 super chat says nothing. Thank you, Blazer. Coiled Phoenix with a $20 super chat. Hey, JD, I'm sorry I'll miss your review tonight because I'll be at work. I just wanted to show my love and support to you. As always, keep up the good work, my man. And hopefully one day I'll be able to meet you in person. Cold Phoenix, thank you so much. Hopefully you'll get some time to listen to this review at some point during the week. But I appreciate all the support that you've given the podcast all weekend long. Daniel Easterday with a $5 super chat. Awful night of booking. I wish they would have stopped after night 1. Seems like night 1 was a little bit more popular with the IWC than night 2 was. With that main event, that made the main event of WrestleMania feel like WrestleMania. Rodney Mosley with a $10 super chat. 1, 2, 3 all day. Head of the table. Rodney, nobody is better than the Tribal Chief. Munchie Time with a $100 super chat. First two matches were bad. Logan didn't need to be there. Drum match was decent, but rushed. Raw Women's title match was rushed, and Rhea didn't deserve it. U.S. title and triple threat were matches of the night. P.S. I am not the guy with the Munchie shirt. He is an imposter. Bro, listen, nobody could be Munchie time, okay? He's a fucking imposter, and I know it, and he's gonna be bounced out of the venue if I see him. But I agree with you. Logan didn't need to be there. He did nothing as far as the match or the feud. The drum match was rushed. It went way too short. Rhea Ripley doesn't deserve the Raw Women's Championship, and the triple threat and U.S. title matches were the highlights of WrestleMania for me. Thank you for the $100, brother. I really, really appreciate it. Don't tread on me with a $5 super chat. Best match on the card was the Boneyard match. Oh, wait a minute. My bad. That was last year. LOL. Can't hate on the Boneyard match, man. That shit was great. Laura Conway with a $4.99 super chat. That wasn't bad tonight. Glad Roman is still champion. I might not be on here all night. Just wanted to show my support to my favorite podcaster ever. Ever, Laura. Thank you for the $4.99. Don't tread on me with a $5 super chat. WWE officially buried the Fiend. Such a good character. Bad booking. Wouldn't you agree? Absolutely. The Fiend is dead. Nobody can tell me otherwise. The Gary Sphere with a $5 super chat. I get Roman as a heel, but is he really the type of heel that needs the assist from Jay in every single match? It's a fucking triple threat match, man. Why wouldn't Jey Uso be there? Roman using the rules that are given to him. But I do agree. I don't think Roman needs to win via heel tactics every time. I do have a problem with that, but the match called for it. He could do whatever the fuck he wants. Jeremias Fagan with a $10 super chat. They really just switched what they did last year with both male champs retaining and both female champs losing. Still not mad because my boy Roman won. That's all I care about, man. Roman still the Universal Champion. And rightfully so. Don't tread on me with another $5 super chat. Asuka vs. Rhea Ripley match was not too bad, but there was no storyline hardly leading up to their match. Not very invested in that match. Me neither. Neither was anybody else. And if you did, you're lying. Raging Girl Gamer with a $9.99 super chat. My husband was very angry about the ending of the main event about Jey Uso. I was dying laughing. Rage, you can tell your husband that the rules apply. Anything goes in a triple threat match. I thought it was brilliant. Tenario with a $5 super chat. Do you think this set was better than WrestleMania 33? Yes. And also Rhea and Asuka, underwhelming. Absolutely. Rhea didn't deserve to be in that spot. Jacob Donnelly with a $50 super chat. Jacob the Beast. Night one was far better. I agree. Besides the fantastic main event, I didn't care for night two at all. I also don't want to hear the Fiend isn't buried or doesn't suck ever again. Oh, you will. You'll have Fiend marks and Fiend geeks and Fiend elitists crying to me on social media, crying to you on social media that he's not dead. The Fiend is dead. I'm sorry. They bring him back, burn him. He's no longer burned. They burn him to a crisp to put him in a match against Randy Orton. That's a standard wrestling match. And Alexa Bliss is the goddess of goo that somehow is fucking over Bray Wyatt. Great, nobody cares. Gregory Benson with a $4.99 super chat. Well, at least we didn't get Charlotte versus Lacey Evans. Thank Christ Almighty. That was the plan, supposedly. Not like we got anything better than Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. Gregory and Jacob, thank you for the super chat donations. Larzy with a $4.99 super chat. I love you, Bruce. Been a fan for almost 5 years now, JD. Love you, brother. Larzy, thank you so much, man. I love you. C. Soulsbury with a $4.99 super chat. Thanks for the amazing and consistent content you put out, especially this last week. Nobody does it better, brother. I know. And if you think anybody else does it better, you're a fucking idiot. Chris Hassel with a $9.99 super chat. Yo, JD. Not only Titus provide us with some good energy from him while he hosted, but he also provided us with some delicious pulled pork sandwiches at the stadium tonight. Bro, listen, I heard Titus's pulled pork is out of this world, man. Out of this world. He's had the pulled pork sandwiches on the menu inside the venue a couple of times. And a nice brioche bun. Thank you, Chris, for the $9.99. Super cool with a $5 super chat. Hey, JD, you are the man. They did my girl Asuka dirty tonight, which is why I can't wait until her contract expires and she goes to either Impact or AEW. Super cool. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I wonder why everybody thinks that when someone's contract is up, they're going to leave WWE. Asuka is very comfortable in America. She's doing her thing here, man. I don't see her leaving WWE at all. I think she stays with the WWE for the rest of her career. If I'm AEW and she's up, and that contract is up, I'm throwing her money, that's for sure. Thing is, does she bite and does she go? I don't think so. CC Steven with a $5 super chat. Hi, JD. Both main events saved this pay-per-view and were the only matches that felt Mania-worthy, and in your words, the Fiend is dead. Sasha and Bianca had a great main event. It was absolutely WrestleMania-worthy. And Roman, Edge, and Bryan may have been the best match all Mania week. All Mania week. Easily the best match of Mania by far. Cool Jags with a $9.99 super chat. The triple threat match was match of the night and match of WrestleMania period. Roman winning was the right outcome. It made up for the terrible start to night 2. Night 1 was a 7 out of 10. Night 2 was a 6 out of 10. I probably give night 2 a 5 out of 10. Night 1, I probably give a 6 out of 10. That's just me. Thank you, Cool Jags, for your opinion. And I'm glad you're here, brother. Thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat. King Cigar 94 with a $4.99 UK super chat. I'm not sure who was booking this year's WrestleMania or if Vince was in some good mood, but it's been years since I've been very happy with WrestleMania. Glad Roman won. Roman needed to win, and there was no doubt about that. I'm glad they came with the right decision. Raging Girl Gamer with a $4.99 super chat. Hey, Mean Marky D, don't let JD talk to you like that. I got your back. He knows I'll come up to New York. He doesn't want this heat. I think Mean Marky D is going to be on his best behavior, man. I'm hearing rumors that Mean Marky D may actually shorten the intro. We still got to find out the name of this blonde secretary, man, with the fat ass. I don't know. Tony? Is that her name? All right, we'll figure it out. Thank you, Rage. 187 Spartan. $9.99 super chat. Acknowledge him. I've acknowledged him since he won the fucking title and turned heel with Paul Heyman. Now everybody else needs to do the same. 0 or O 816 Life A B C D E F G HIJK The Fiend. Sing Jeepers Creepers. Where'd you get those peepers? Guy sucks. Thank you for the $2 super chat, man. Not Infidel with a $3.99 super chat. Would you mind calling my brother Michael and I goons? Infidel and Michael, both of you are fucking goons. Thank you for the $3.99 super chat. Don't tread on me with a $5 super chat. Mandy Rose, slippery when wet. LOL. JD, you crack me up. Kenley Pierre with a $5 super chat. Hate Roman still. Very heel heavy tonight. Hope Cole comes in and tames Tribal Chief. And the Alexa Bray storyline, I'm over it. Keep up the good work, JD. Thank you, Kenley. Adam Cole is not taking out the Tribal Chief. Adam H, 6262 with a $4.99 super chat. If you haven't seen it yet, go look at the absolute horrible call at the end of the Braves game. MLB and umps blew another replay call. I'm not surprised. Bro, all I see when it comes to these sports and decisions like that, man, I see a lot of people not knowing how to do their jobs correctly. It makes me either they just suck at their job or it's all rigged, like pro wrestling. I'll probably read up on it after the show is over. AJ Watson with a $2 super chat. LOL, Roman getting booed the right way feels weird. No, it don't. It feels right for the first time in 7 years. Dante with a $4.99 super chat. What's up, brother? Wyatt deserves so much better. The most creative superstar on the roster, and decisions like tonight is why Wyatt gets so much unnecessary hate. Just got to book him better, man. The Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt, will always be my favorite. Early on, he was awesome. TVP83 with a $5 super chat. I think Roman finally had the WrestleMania main event success. I believe the coronation for Roman is finally past. Roman is only going to continue to get better and better. It's going to be awesome. And I'm here for it. Anthony, $4.99 super chat, says nothing. Don't be shy, Anthony. Remember to tip the bartender inside the venue. I'll find out if you don't. Don't tread on me, $5 super chat. You know, Off the Script is coming on when you hear JD's brother playing them drums. Fantastic. JD, keep up the good work with the podcast. Thank you, Mr. Don't Tread on Me, with the big donations tonight. Munchie Time with a $5 super chat. Bray isn't even buried now. He is stuck in a black hole where nothing, not even light, could possibly get him out. All hail the tribal chief of the IWC. Fuck yeah, man. Thank you, Munchie. Don't tread on me with another $5 super chat. Eating Fruit Loops while watching you. LOL. I'm not a fan of Fruit Loops, man. Just give me some frosted shredded wheat. No milk. I eat that shit dry. Hollywood Guy, $5 super chat. Bray needs a Snickers bar. The Snicker ad was way too much. Baron Corbin had a nice Snickers ad. It was probably more entertaining than anything he's done in the ring in the last 3 years. Otis Driftwood with a $4.99 super chat. Do you listen to Christopher Mad Dog Russo? I used to listen to Mike and the Mad Dog while my dad was picking us up from school every afternoon or every morning. And Slipknot is the greatest heavy metal band in the world. R.I.P. Dimebag Darrell. Slipknot is not the greatest heavy metal band in the world. Not even close. Not even close. Mr. Premium 2002. Other than the main event, my favorite part of the show was the Harper tribute done by Bray Wyatt. Such small actions can make an impact in more ways than one. Not much importance other than that. If I'm not mistaken, he did that corner spot that Brody used to do, right? I didn't pick up on that immediately, but now that you're mentioning it, I do remember he did it. Thank you, Mr. Premium, for the $9.99, brother. Appreciate it. Trey Morton with a $10 super chat. What's up, JD? Love the podcast. There's no need to watch the shows when your reviews are so much better. Trey, I appreciate that, man. I get a lot of people weekly that tell me that, but I appreciate you. Otis Driftwood with a $3.99 super chat. P.S. Anthony Cardillo is Otis Driftwood. Well, thank you both, being that you're the same person. Appreciate you, Otis. Don't tread on me. $5 super chat. You've said it a million times. WWE, in some cases, is always booking themselves into a corner. It's what they do best, bro. Lauren Hutton. Hey, JD, why do you think Alexa betrayed the Fiend? Lauren, your guess is as good as mine. At this point, I don't care. I really don't. Hula Grim. $3 super chat. New member of the OTS Patreon family. OTS for life. Hula Grim, you're a fucking savage, bro. You're a fucking savage, man. Simpson. Homer Simpson with a $4.99 super chat. The right outcome came out of that main event. Also, I'm new here. My buddy Mr. Premium 2002 got me invested into the podcast. Keep up the good work. Shout out to you, Simpson, and shout out to Mr. Premium. I appreciate both of you guys. Thank you for being here tonight. Raging Girl Gamer with a $4.99 super chat. It was a lot of botches in night 2. Also, my husband wanted Edge to win, so he was hurt about you saying, fuck your nostalgia. LOL. He loves your podcast, by the way. Rage, fuck the nostalgia. If anybody's offended by my words, I apologize in advance, but don't be. I'm just a passionate wrestling fan. Susan D'Ambrosio, $2 super chat. JD, been on fire this WrestleMania weekend. Love you. Thank you, Susan. Juan Vasquez with a $5 super chat. Night 1 was epic. It saved live pro wrestling. Night 2 was saved by the main event. Jey Uso and Roman selling this epic story of family and sacrifice. Roman is indeed fucking awesome, Juan. Greg Henderson with a $5 super chat. Who thought Bray vs. Randy at WrestleMania could have gotten worse than WrestleMania 33? I knew it was going to be. I told you guys. That match sucked, but this one was even worse. Abso-fucking-lutely. $10 super chat by Drewby. Thank you for all your hard work you've put in this week. Your videos have kept me entertained. Hopefully here soon you can get some rest. You're the best, JD. I don't know, man. We got Monday Night Raw and NXT on Monday and Tuesday. Not much rest for me. And I'll be streaming Warzone tomorrow on Twitch with my good friend, Mr. Soldier. William Gaddis with a $10 super chat. Bianca Belair, Sheamus, Apollo Crews, and Rhea Ripley all hail the new champions. Yes to Bianca, yes to Sheamus, yes to Apollo, no to Rhea Ripley. Rafael DeLuna with a $1.99 super chat. JD's the face of the IWC. Roman is the face of WWE. You know it. You know it, man. Jericho 8131 with a $5 super chat. WWE sees Bray as nothing more than a guy to sell merchandise. Make a couple of masks and shirts to shill to the fans so they can take their money. Jericho, that may be as true as anything that I stated on this podcast tonight. World of Wrestling with a $5 super chat. Night 2 was good, except The Fiend vs. Orton was the worst match for night 1 and 2. Loved Reigns pinning both Edge and Bryan. That was the perfect ending. Absolutely. Munchie Time with a $5 super chat. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Screw that red light. I wonder who thought of that. I'm sure it was Bruce's idea. Reese with a $4.99 super chat. SummerSlam 2019 was Wyatt's best showing. They should have never changed anything from that night, including the red light. They got to get rid of the red light. The red light sucks. Justin Striplin with a $4.99 super chat. Which spot did you like better? Adam Cole super kicking Ricochet at TakeOver? Or Sheamus bro kicking Matt Riddle tonight? Adam Cole versus Ricochet. Absolutely no question. Jericho 8131 with a $5 super chat. The Fiend can survive getting his brain scrambled with the sledgehammer and getting barbecued, but is defeated by jackhammers and RKOs. Goes to show you that the Fiend is dead, bro. I'll keep saying it every time until every one of these fucking Fiend geeks cries. Type G with a $4.99 super chat. WrestleMania was good both nights. Which night did you prefer, JD? Night 1. Chris with a $4.99 super chat. Look, the Fiend character was doomed from the start. Vince and Bruce must have a hard-on to get rid of it, squash it, and make Bray a face. I don't know, man. I would really love to know what Bray Wyatt is thinking behind closed doors about this character. I just don't get it. I don't get the appeal. I really don't. It's a fucking joke. It's a comedy act right now. DJ with a $4.99 super chat. The AEW barbed wire deathmatch botch was way better than Bray and Randy, hands down. Bro, the ending fucked up the match, but the actual match was really good between Moxley and Omega. There's no comparison. DBO with the $1.99 UK. Good work, JD. Have a pint on me. I'm not sure a $1.99 UK super chat's going to get me a pint, but DBO, I appreciate you, brother. Moises Gonzalez with the $4.99 super chat. Night 2 sucked. Glad Roman kept the title. Who do you think returns or gets demoted tomorrow or Friday? Thanks for all the hard work you put in this week. The only one I can think of right now is Io Shirai. That is it. Steven Screws with a $10 super chat. First 2 matches felt like a kickoff show or an episode of Raw. Thank you, JD, for expressing what everybody is thinking. Shout out to my home, the Bronx, and you being a legendary voice in this community. I don't know if I would necessarily call myself a legendary voice, but hopefully one day I am there at that level, Steven. Thank you so much, brother. Kenley Pierre, $2 super chat. Cross can beat Reigns at some point. Stop booking matches that don't need to happen. That is a counterproductive idea, man. Not really booking anybody like that where both of them can't afford a loss. It makes no sense. Jose Charles with a $10 super chat. Why do they always tell us that nothing can stop Bray? Then he loses to one RKO. I get that the move is protected, but the man has supposedly been burned alive and no sells anything. Jose, listen. Bray Wyatt and the character of the Fiend fucking sucks. There's nothing redeeming about it. Nothing. I do not want supernatural magic with my pro wrestling. You can keep it. Lauren Hutton with a $5 super chat. You think Bray's being punished by WWE because Randy's wife, Kim, is saying everything about storylines on social media. That also gave them heat. I don't know what Kim is doing and not doing, but I doubt they're punishing anybody. They just don't give a shit about the Fiend character, and right now they're just using it, like Jericho said in his previous super chat, they're using it as a way to drive revenue, and that's all they see it as. They don't take it as a serious character. If they did, it wouldn't be in the condition that it's in now. Montreal Rather with a $5 super chat. Being related to The Rock, Roman Reigns, Yokozuna, and the Usos, etc. must be nice for Nia Jax when she's reckless and hasn't improved over the years. Well, that's the only reason why she's in a prominent role on television. You named it. Family. Other than that, she's shit. Indigo with a $100 super chat. Hey, JD, much respect. Did you check out the latest episode of the Broken Skull Sessions yet? I have not, my friend. This week, I will definitely do that. It was fire. Like you said, the only match we cared about this weekend was the main event. And I'm talking about Reigns, Edge, and Bryan. Anyways, another awesome live stream, bro. You killed it all week, as you always do. Indigo, I appreciate you, brother. Hope you're doing well. My voice is shot. So much work this week, man. The fact that I stayed on top of my game, I don't know, man. I don't know how I do it. William Gaddis with a $5 super chat. Oh, and hail AJ Styles and Omos as well. Sorry, almost forgot. You know, Omos does cameo appearances now, and he calls his fans Homo sapiens. I kid you not. This is a real thing. Homo sapiens. Jaden Vlogs with a $19.99 super chat. Mania weekend was good. That's all it gets from me, but just want to say I've been a fan of you for 5 years, and it's been great listening to you day and night, but I just want to say that I look up to you, and you're an inspiration to me. Jaden, thank you so much for the kind words, man. Thank you so much for the kind words, and thank you for your support, bro. I appreciate it. Brian Edwards with a $4.99 super chat. You do a great job, and you're hilarious. Thank you, man. PMAC with a $5 super chat. The crowd was chanting for Tamina. That's funny. But remember, they were in Florida. You got a lot of people riding the stupid express out there. Listen, man, leave the Floridians alone. Furious Nation with a $10 super chat. My thoughts and prayers are with Shotzi Blackheart and Matt and Jeff Hardy, who lost their fathers today. Thoughts and prayers go out to Shotzi and the Hardy brothers, man. Oh my God, those greens with the $4.99 super chat. I think Tony Khan is going to try and sign Daniel Bryan since this was his last WrestleMania match. That doesn't mean Tony Khan is signing anybody, bro. Bryan is going to now revert to a part-time performer. He's going to be on that Brock Lesnar schedule. Just like Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt's on the Brock Lesnar schedule. The guy does nothing. Bray Wyatt wrestles 4 matches a year. Rob Mash with a $5 super chat. When Roman stacked Edge and Bryan on top of each other, that was a disrespectful finish. I loved that finish. Rob, it was fantastic. Jesse Caro with a $10 super chat. Hey, JD, wanted to show some love and say, keep up the good work. The GOAT of the IWC podcast scene. Thank you so much, Jesse. I appreciate you, man. JD23 with a $5 super chat. It might have been kind of early for Bianca to win the title, but there was definitely more emotion when she won than Rhea, and it came off way more genuine. Bro, Rhea Ripley sucks. Get Rhea Ripley out of here, please. I can't fucking stand Rhea Ripley. She's literally nauseating to look at. Honestly. Let's see what else we got here, man. We got a lot of super chats tonight. I appreciate the support, guys. Showing me the love. So many to get through, man. Adrian V777 became a new member tonight, man. Thank you for sitting VIP with me, brother. Appreciate you. DJ Razor 357 Remakes became a new member. He's sitting VIP with me as well. Zero Kaiba with a $2 super chat. Reigns needs to start winning on his own. Agree? Eventually. But this is the tribal chief, man. He does what he wants. It's a triple threat match. What else do you expect? Ty Sloan with a $4.99 super chat. JD, love your podcast. What are your opinions on these two bands, The Misfits and Green Day? Shit and more shit. Cal L with a $5 super chat. Night 1 was better than night 2, but the main event was awesome. Roman Reigns and Mustangs rule. Cal L, you know it, brother. Fox Gween with the $4.99 super chat. There were a lot of goons in attendance at WrestleMania Night 2. Thank you for all the content, JD, and for being a voice of reason in the IWC. Fox, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you, man. Edgar Estrada with the $100 super chat. Yo, J fucking D. Notice today marks 9 years I've been following your channel. Holy shit, bro. Time flew by. You built something great here. Thanks for bringing me along for the ride. This is just my way to say thank you for all your hard work. Love the OTS fam. And you're number one. Edgar, I love you, brother. 9 years, man. It's a long time. You're fucking grandfathered into the VIP section, brother. I think me and Hoop Media are doing Jacksonville for Double or Nothing, man. If any of you guys are going to be in Jacksonville for Double or Nothing, I think I'm going to be doing a meet and greet. So we'll figure that out there. So keep that in the back of your mind. Double or Nothing meet and greet in Jacksonville. We're going to figure it out. I'd love to get everybody together. And Jesse may be there as well. Jesse may be there as well. Chris with the $9.99 super chat. After Roman Reigns retains the Universal Championship tonight, do we see Roman and The Rock next year or in Hollywood? Maybe they do a one-year build like Rock and Cena. Chris, I think it's going to be in Los Angeles, and I do think that it's going to be announced a year in advance. That's the best way to go about it. Thank you for the $9.99, man. Daddy DC650 $1.99. He says, Roman is hot and so are you, cutie. Says Daddy DC650. Sorry, man, I don't swing that way. Toan Ho with a $10 super chat. I'm not mad that Roman won the match. I love Roman as a dominant heel. Good review, JD. Keep it up. And Asuka has no right to lose that title. And I love night 1. It was so much better. I agree with you, Mr. Ho. Night 1 was better. Thank you for the kind words. Roman is a beast. Esau, the NYC Demon Diva. So the Fiend lost because he's a simp. Shaking my head. Keep up the good work. Cheers. Yes, Issa. Roman Reigns. Actually, no, not Roman. Never mind Roman Reigns. We all know Roman. You and I both know Roman Reigns is a fucking beast, okay? Which makes me sad. He's got me blocked on Twitter, man. Of all the fucking people now, he's got me blocked. I'm like his biggest advocate on here. But yes, the Fiend is a fucking simp. The Fiend is a simp. For somebody who is, I guess, the reincarnated version of his sister. What a fucking geek. A goddamn geek is Bray Wyatt, man. And everybody that likes and supports Bray Wyatt is a fucking geek as well. Mama McMahon's Macaroni with a $4.99 super chat. When I said Reigns was going to win, all my peers laughed at me. I'm pissed. I could have won $50. Listen, Mama McMahon's Macaroni, you got to listen to your gut. You got to get that gut feeling and just go with it. Justin Strippin with a $4.99 super chat. JD, thank you for entertaining us throughout this WrestleMania week. Again, got to say you're the best podcaster in the world. Hashtag JD rules, hashtag OTS for life. Justin, thank you so much, man. I don't know if I'm the best in the world, but if you're talking about the best in the IWC, I mean, there's nobody fucking close, man. Come on now. We all know that this is the place to be. Dakota Hoffman with a $5 super chat. Broken Skull Sessions with Chris Jericho was fantastic. Going to surprise you. Keep up the good work. Best podcaster on YouTube. Thank you, Dakota. Dapper Pickle with a $10 super chat. Damn, hopefully we get to see Keith Lee this year. It really sucks that we have not heard anything about him in quite some time. Keith Lee is too big for WWE. No pun intended. Bro, I have no idea what they're doing with Keith Lee. What a fucking disgrace, huh? What a disgrace that they got this guy sitting around. Phil with the $4.99 super chat. This might be a bit of an ask, but could you say your top 3 matches from all of WrestleMania night 1 and night 2? Yeah. Roman, Edge, Bryan, number 1. Sasha, Bianca, number 2. And then Sheamus, Matt Riddle, number 3. And if I had to choose a number 4, I'm going with Cesaro and Seth Rollins. Number 5, Sami and Kevin Owens. It's pretty easy. Goomba999 with a $4.99 super chat. Both embarrassed at Mania again. Asuka and Wyatt should have pie and green beans and catering and forget about wrestling in WWE. Man, listen. You want to know who does good baked green beans? I do. My green beans are fucking delicious. NYC Demon Diva Issa again with the $4.99 super chat. When Roman did that double pin, I got pregnant with twins. It's quite the interesting way to put it, Issa. I'm with you. I'm with you. Roman Reigns does have that effect on the ladies. I am not surprised. I am not surprised. Ashton with a $4.99 super chat. What was the overall grade out of 10 if you combine both nights? I enjoyed night 1 more. WrestleMania gets a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. Was it a thumbs up Mania? Barely. Cal L with a $5 super chat. Only thing that doesn't rule with Roman is that Shield music. I wish they would change it. I said that earlier, brother. I agree with you 100%. It does not fit the character anymore. It needs to be something a little bit more in line with the tribal chief. Danger Pills with an Australian $5 super chat. You're awesome, man. I love how when you make fun of a segment or a match, you use the Vince McMahon voice. It's such great shit. I can't even do it the way I usually do it because my voice is fucking shot from all this goddamn recording. Whee! Coiled Phoenix 713 with a $50 super chat after she said she wasn't watching the live stream tonight. Here she is with a 50 bomb. It sucks that I made it so late, but I'm glad I did because I have to say I love Roman's tribal chief gimmick. But the whole thing with Jey Uso feels too forced, like he's trying too hard to keep up with Roman, but he's just somebody that's coming off as cringe. I don't know. Coiled, I don't mind Jey. He's not main event Jey Uso, but he fits into the tribal chief gimmick. We just need Jimmy Uso back so that they can go after the tag team championships. That's what needs to happen. We need Jimmy Uso back to complement Jey Uso so we can get out of Roman's business. Thank you for the 50 bomb. I appreciate you. CFA 2618 with a $5 super chat. Which show was better, NXT or WrestleMania? I think they were both the same, man. You know, to be honest with you, normally I'd say NXT, but I was very bored with NXT Night 2. I don't know about you guys. I was just bored. They need to get the fuck out of the Performance Center. Those takeover shows need to be in venues like Barclays. 10,000 seats. Get the fuck out of Florida, man. Clinton with a $5 Australian super chat. Best match of the weekend to me was the triple threat. Roman owning the heel run. By the way, Broken Skull with Jericho was great. I'll be watching it this week. Thank you, Clinton. Ty Sloan with a $1.99 super chat. Favorite NFL team, and were you a fan of DMX's music? I don't watch the NFL, and I do not listen to rap music. Sorry if that may disappoint some of you out there. Sino Trainer NY with a $4.99 super chat. I was pissed the Fiend lost. Don't be pissed, bro. You should be pissed at creative that they can't book this guy right. The character sucks. The character's dead. The character's a simp. Get him off TV. Cool Jags with the $2.99 super chat. Jim Cornette is creaming his jeans because Rhea won. Rhea? Not a fan, man. That's all I'll say. I am not a fan. Don't tread on me with a $5 super chat. I also wanted to thank you for great entertainment throughout this pandemic. Whatever they do, whatever they want to call it, once again, as always, keep up the good work. Thank you, man, for the $5 super chat. Paul Jackson, 1988, $5 super chat. The Fiend sucks, and so does Vince and Bruce. Bayley deserves better. She absolutely does. She absolutely does, man. Jaxo, $4.99 super chat. I can't wait for Becky Lynch to come back. And in your words, the Fiend is dead. Also, Rhea Ripley winning the Raw Women's title was soulless. It was absolutely lifeless, man. There's not many people, well, maybe some people do, but there's not many people that give a fuck about Rhea Ripley winning that title. I want to see how many people cry when she loses that title in less than a month. Isaac, Metalhead, with a $4.99 super chat. The Fiend character has been bad since Hell in a Cell with Seth Rollins. Not surprised they managed to mess him up again tonight. Cal L with a $5 super chat. Gotta say this. Thoughts and prayers to DMX and his family. I was a big DMX fan. He was a New Yorker like you, bro. Good night. Thoughts and prayers go out to everybody affected by the death of DMX, man. Brett Saiben Har with a $5 super chat. JD is the best. I bought some Screwball and Jameson that you had on Critiques and Connoisseurs. The Screwball is the best. I love Screwball, man. So good. Hodge brought some over. We watched night one together. I didn't drink tonight because I needed to be on top of my game. Jesse Caro with a membership to the channel. Thank you so much, brother. You're sitting VIP with me and a bunch of others, man. What are you drinking? What are you drinking? The Tribal Chief's Spirit Animal with a $5 super chat. They're trying too hard to make Rhea look cool. Love this community. Rhea looks like a fucking poser, bro. It's the best way for me to put it. JD23 with a $5 super chat. The fact that Roman said in his promo Friday that he was going to stack the bodies up and make the finish even better because he did just that. Maybe I guess we should take Roman Reigns and what he says pretty seriously from now on, man. Jaxo23 with a $4.99 super chat. Hey, JD, Roman is our tribal chief, and I think WWE screwed Asuka out of the Raw Women's Championship. Keep up the good work. Also, Raw is terrible. Richard Williams with a $2 super chat. What's up, JD? Just got my Dr. Squatch. Braun runs fast. Enjoy that Dr. Squatch, brother. DrSquatch.com. You guys are going to use code SCRIPT at checkout for 20% off, man. Big Shot Draco with a $4.99 super chat. How do you think Adam Cole will do on the main roster, and what are your thoughts on him? Adam Cole is one of the best wrestlers in the world, and he's going to get buried on either Monday or Friday night. Phil with a $9.99 super chat. Is it me, or has Jimmy been injured for like 2 years now? When is he going to join Roman? Great show, JD. I don't know how you do it. The consistency is unmatched. I don't know how I do it either, man. I'm like fucking Superman over here. I hope Jimmy does come back and join Jey Uso. I would not be surprised if WWE keeps them fucking singles. It's just what they love to do. Rafael DeLuna with a $2 super chat. Huge Edge fan. Roman winning was the right choice. I appreciate that, Rafael. You know what the right outcome is. Reese with the $4.99 super chat. JD proving why he's the best. He's still with us at 2 a.m. while others are sleeping. Dedicated. Listen, man, nobody has the fan base that I do. They come on here and they go for an hour, talk about WrestleMania, and then they go and they half-ass it. I take notes extensively on my iPad. I write out all my opinions and what I talk about. Then I got you guys donating over $1,000 tonight via Super Chat, man. I can't ask for any better. You guys want me here? I'm here. It's 2:30 in the morning. Ashton with a $4.99 Super Chat. LOL, JD. You going to Bad Bunny concerts? He's going to kill it live like he did at WrestleMania. Drinks on me. No, I am not. I'll save Issa to scoop up those tickets that I don't end up buying. I'm pretty sure she's going to all the East Coast Bad Bunny concerts that they announced via WrestleMania tonight. That's pretty much it, guys. That is all the Super Chats I got for you. Oh my God, man. I am so tired. I appreciate you guys very much for all the support, man. It's about time I hop in the Mustang and get the hell out of here. Drive on home. Slip into bed. Put some pajamas on. Pass out. Sleep till about 11. Get up. Have some coffee. Have a late breakfast. Jump on Twitch. And play some Call of Duty Warzone with my boy, Mr. Soldier. You guys are the best, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate everything you guys done. This was a great WrestleMania weekend. Great WrestleMania week. I'll be back live tomorrow during Monday Night Raw, the biggest Raw of the year, supposedly. We'll be back in the Thunderdome, man. How shitty is that we went from live fans now back to the virtual virgins, the virtual geeks inside the Thunderdome. Hopefully it's a good show, man. Hopefully it is a good show. Jaxo23 with a last-minute $4.99 Super Chat. Raw tomorrow is going to be interesting, but terrible also. JD is the tribal chief of the IWC. Jaxo, thank you so much, brother. Guys, hit that thumbs up on the way out, man. Why are we going down in thumbs up? We were over 1,400. Get those thumbs up, bro. The fuck are you guys doing? Let's try for 1,500 before we get out of here, man. Bunch of fucking hate. That's how I know. That's how I know there were haters in the fucking chat watching. Go fuck yourself, man. You watched the best for about 3 hours in the IWC. You know it, but you won't say anything. Hit that thumbs up, guys. If you have not done so, hit that thumbs up. Every little bit helps. Follow me on Twitter at JDfromNY206. That's Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. DrSquatch.com. Use code SCRIPT at checkout for 20% off. And go check out all the other videos that you might have missed on the channel. I will be back tomorrow during Monday Night Raw for the Raw live stream, the Raw After Mania. Hopefully they deliver big and really give it a sense of it being important, because we didn't get that last year. All right, guys, I'm getting in the Mustang. I'm hitting the highway. I got my cold beverage. Windows are down. I'm exhausted. But what I want you guys to do is very simple. Give me those guitar emojis in the chat. That volume, full blast. I want it on max. Those guitar emojis in the chat. I'm getting in the car. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Monday Night Raw. Have a great night, everybody. And thank you for everything you guys have done this WrestleMania weekend. I'll see you guys later.
Oh,